Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Untold Encounters. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. My name's Nando, and today I'm going to be joined by both of the co-hosts as well of Untold Encounters. We're just waiting for Jen to get herself sorted, but what I will do is bring on Sarah. She is with us. Hey, upstairs. How you doing?
My husband.
So we're just waiting for Jen to come on. So while we wait for Jen, just a bit of a heads up about the show today. So as you most probably saw from the poster, we're going to be talking about the darker side of the paranormal. We've got a few examples of things that we've witnessed. We've got a few stories to tell. But as always, stick your, if you've had any experiences, any comments that you would like to make about subjects that we're talking about, if you agree with them or not, just like the shows have been really interactive, get involved with it and we'll talk about it all. But we're just waiting for Jen to really start off. But if there's anyone in the room, say hello, let us know who's watching, and we will kick it off once she is ready. She's running around frantically. I can see her in the background, and she's moving like Flash. Bless her. Hey, Facebook user. Sorry, I can't see now. I don't know who's logged in. So just put your name in the comments as well, so we know who you are. But thank you for joining.
This show is all about you guys as well. So if you've got anything to share with us, we could even get you on camera. Just share your
experience. Send the link out to you. We can send a link. Hey, Scott Wilson. Thank you for joining. And I think the Facebook user is Marty. Thank you for coming in. Oh, I think she's ready. So here she is.
I threw myself in there.
We go.
Hi, Jen.
The family is complete now. Now you're here.
Top of the evening.
How's everyone doing today?
Top of the evening.
Good. Busy.
Good mood for Ireland today, I see.
Listen, hello. Yes, Grand Slam is all I'm going to say. What a game! I did watch it. It was just, I am gushing, and I won't boast about it too much, but it was.
Did you have a Guinness or two yesterday?
No, I was sick. I am still sick now. I didn't have any Guinness or anything like that. But I am going to have a wine. I'm going to have a wine later.
Brilliant.
That'll settle you.
Hey, Matt, just give a couple of shout outs. We've got Scott Wilson saying, Jen, I love you. That's him. Brilliant. So on subject tonight, guys, we were having a chat about what the next episode could be about, what we're going to bring to the table. And one thing that, we all agreed on was talking about the darker side of the paranormal.
Get our lightsabers out.
Sorry?
Do we need to get our lightsabers out?
There's so many different areas that we can look at. And the first thing that I wanted to sort of talk about and get people's opinions on is the demonic side of things. Now, a lot of people, when they do investigations or they witness something, that they are quick to say the word demonic entities. Firstly, a bit of an open question to the both of you. What are your thoughts on demonic entities? Do you believe that they're real? Is this something that's been hypened up by the movies? What do you guys think?
So
No, you go first, honest.
To me, I demonic. Well, if they say there's a heaven, there's a hell. There's angels, there's demons. But when it comes to investigations, we've one or two people have said demonic. Yeah, Marty, you're there. I think demonic is used way too many times. I think is there bad, horrible people in life, and they are the same after in death. 100%. But I don't think they're demonic. I just think that if there are shitty arsehole people, arsehole people in life, they're going to be the same in death. So demonic, no. Is there something as demonic? Once in a blue moon. But yes, I do believe in it, but it's not on every single investigation as some people would have. That's what I think.
What about you, Stan?
It's a rarity, but we can't deny that it is there. I mean, we always warn our guests about demonic. So if the Ouija board goes from left to right really fast, just close it down. If it's 1,000 rods spin, you just close it down, say goodbye. And you always get the spirit to name its name. And if it can't give its name and not happy to give its name, then it's something to worry about. And then you just walk away, or you don't even acknowledge it. You don't want to even give it the, But I do believe if you were walking around in the same mnemotic kind of experience day after day and you were just a bewildered spirit, you'd be pretty peeved off too, I think. So yeah, I do believe that if there are, as Jenny says, arseholes in the living, then they're more likely to be arseholes in the dead as well.
Yeah. And just when Sarah, and you said, if they're not going to give you their names, the location that we do many, many years, there's one guy who won't give us his name, will never give us his name. But a name came to my head and I said, is it okay if I call you by Dive? And I call him by Dive. Say, Dave, are you here tonight? And all I get is the F off. But I get the full sentence. So maybe it's not Dave.
You could Google a list of demons and spirits and their names and stuff like that. So if Dive's on there, you know what, you just scrub them off your list, don't you?
So just to refer back to some of the viewers here. So Marty's put, for there to be light, there has to be dark. For everything, there must be opposites. But people are calling it out too much for views. Yeah. I agree. I think this is one of the things with the industry is because of the way the TV shows represent the paranormal, they're too quick to say this is something demonic. And people's expectations, especially if they're not, they haven't been in the paranormal field for too long, they get a wrong view. They get a wrong expectation of what's actually going on. Yeah. We've got Wild Bill in the audience. Thank you for joining. So he's put Asak, and he will say there is demons everywhere. Well, and then he's gone on to say evil energy spirits are not demons. They are just evil people. Demons were never human. So, this is two different subjects. So we're talking about demonic, demons as well. So Wild Bill has a degree in demonology, so he might be able to shed some light in this. Then, so when we're talking about demons, we're talking about things that have never actually existed in the human world. How do they enter our world then? People say different things. Is that, I understand, well, Bill, and you may correct me on this, but for me, and this is on my personal opinion, he's a priest as well. I'm
going to burn in a second. I'm joking, Wild Bill. I'm joking.
Jen likes to talk about sometimes she likes to talk about the religion, but we're trying to keep this PG. But demons.
Another night.
When you're talking about demons, I always again refer back to the filming industry, the way they paint it. How do we know demons actually do exist? For me personally, we've never come across anything like that. So where do we get, or where do people get the history of demons and that they exist?
Oh God,
exorcisms.
Okay, so Wild Bill's just said they have never entered; they were always here. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
But always here, from the age of time, from dinosaurs to cavemen and whatnot, were they always here, or were they just always here when humans came to make them up? And like Marty said, if they, with light, there's darkness. So is it a man-made thing? Is it just a typical human being an absolute bloody gobshite, and he's going to be another one when he passes away, or she pass away? Because there's many bad people out there that would come and that would oh gosh, I'm not even going to mention that, the Manson murders and all of that. I'm sure they're going to be a little plonkers in the afterlife. I'm sure they will be. So has it always been here? From when did it start? What do you think, Sarah?
Well, when I was having a conversation with Jeremy Leonard, who is a demonologist as well, we talked about possession and like the guy in Amityville that killed his family and claimed that he was possessed by demons. He said that Lucifer sent down a certain amount of demons with names, and they're out to cause mischief. And then also I get another view of these things are out there that have walked this earth before time, that are always there watching us in the shower, you know, and they're just watching us and gaining information. So like I say, if you're on the Ouija board and my mum's comes through, you always throw in like a red herring, should I say, that only you would know, because you don't know who's messing with you don't know who you're talking to, and always take things, unless you're positive that information that you're gaining from the paranormal is them, then you can't really be sure who it is. It's the same with like elementals and things like that. The American Indians believe in these spirits. They can be mischievous. They could just be having fun with you, and it's hard to know what is real and what isn't out there.
I think it's with experience, and some experience it and some don't. I kind of don't want to experience it. I don't want to experience it. As I say, everybody has their own demons. What's yours?
But then when we're talking about things about demons and that not being real, you know, someone said that they love your hair, Jen, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Who said that? Who said that? Thank you. I'm purple this week.
I'm Cherokee. So it sounds like Wild Bill's got a lot of, you know.
We need to get Wild Bill on here, don't we?
I think Wild Bill might be person to speak to. But, you know, looking into demonic demons, you know, could they play a part in someone being possessed? Because that's another thing that ties into the darker side of the paranormal. When people claim to be possessed by energies or, you know, spirits. Is it something that was here that's able to control us? Or are we saying that this could also relate to the possible demons and...
Okay.
You know, what's your thoughts with that?
They can feed off of you as well. They can feel if you're feeling particularly low or you're depressed, that's the time when they do jump on you. They say never investigate in a graveyard. Well, not they say. I've been told not to investigate in a graveyard because they're looking for vulnerable people to latch onto.
Really? So
if you want if you want a demonic spirit that is ready for someone who is at their lowest point, I guess it's like fishing.
I've never investigated a graveyard until about 2-3 weeks ago. Beautiful place, gorgeous place. Didn't get anything in it. Didn't expect to get anything in it. We didn't get anything in it. Did I feel vulnerable and open? Yes, I did, because I was in a graveyard. Like, I know me and Nando were talking last week, and he said he felt better. He felt easier investigation. Was that outside, Nando?
Say again?
That you felt easier investigation outside rather than inside?
Yeah, sometimes you do get the, like when you're inside a location, it can be quite unsettling. But outside,
Lauren,
I think...
hello. Thank you.
Not sure what it's shown. It's Lauren. Hey, Lauren.
Hello. Thank you.
But yeah, I just think it depends on the location, really.
Roger.
Hello, Jenny from Memphis.
Hi, Roger.
Hey. Who's that, Jen? Roger?
Roger, a friend of mine for many years, yeah. Friend of mine, he watches all the lives and shows. He's lovely.
You know, I think it just sort of depends on the location that you're in. And, you know, but, you know, like I said, with things like possessions then, you know, is that something that was a human that's passed on spirit life? You know, what's everyone's thoughts? What do you guys think in the comments?
Say it again, Nando, because I was looking at...
I'm on about like possessions. You know, is this something that's done by a being that has never existed on this planet? Or, you know, it's just one of those subjects that, you know, what does people think?
Jessica's here. Okay, let me... Sorry, I have a dog here. I have a little pup here with special needs, and I have to keep an eye on him every 2 minutes. Gosh, I think it can happen. I do think there's special cases of possession taken over. And I know when I was asking a question before, if there was one place in the world where I would like to investigate, where would it be? And I would always say the Vatican. Get me in that place. I want to investigate it so bad. I know many people are like, oh, Jenny, no. But there's a little twinge that I like. I am very much, and you know this, Nando and Sarah, I'm very much for paranormal and religion. And I know Nando hates it, me talking about it. But listen, we're on the same playing field. But I think there's special cases of where possession does take over. Rare, but it does happen. Like, what do you think of Emily Rose?
Yeah. Well, Emily Rose wasn't that but demonic, because there's a big difference between a demonic possession and an attachment. Like the one in, what was it, Exeter in London with a little girl? Oh, what is it called? The Enfield hauntings? That was meant to be an old man, a spirit of an old man coming through to her. So I think there is a big difference of whether or not it is a demonic one. And Emily Rose was apparently a demonic one, wasn't it?
Was she?
Is that, I saw the film. Is that when she went like all distorted and it took her life in the end? Yeah.
I'm just going to get your picture up here, Sarah. I'm taking a picture. Sorry.
That's fine. While Bill's just said, let's see, there is a difference. Chantal, I don't really think graveyards are haunted. I mean, spirits would go where they know or where they die, not where they are buried.
But do you think they go to where they're buried when they see family members? Well, I don't know if that makes sense or not. When they see family members go visit them, but that probably doesn't make sense either, because the family members who passed away could go to the homes. Or so I do. Yeah, I correct myself there.
I have investigated in graveyards, but I just think it depends on your mindset, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because, like I said, I never investigated one until last week, and I felt a little bit open, because it wasn't like you're in a building and all you see is walls and interiors. You're in a graveyard where you see headstones, and you have to be respectful.
Yeah, you do.
You don't want to upset them or annoy them, and I felt disrespectful and so on and so on. I don't know. Nando, have you investigated a graveyard? You have?
Yeah, we did a graveyard.
Brian, wasn't it? The military one.
Yeah, we did the military graveyard.
We got someone talking French, didn't we, or German?
Yeah, through the spirit box we had, like, it was funny because it was going through, and then suddenly we had a French voice come through. No, I think it might have been Russian, actually. Thinking about it, might be Russian.
It wanted a cigarette, didn't we?
Yeah, and then Brian was having a cigarette, wasn't he? And then he sort of said, "Do you want a cigarette?" And he goes, "Yes," through the spirit box, and we literally put out a cigarette for whatever was there. Now, while Bill has just said, graveyards have very little paranormal activity because the energy has already left before they got there. That is just where the physical body was placed. Yeah. But I get what while Bill was saying, but when you've passed over, would it not be the case that the energy can go wherever it wants?
Sorry, I'm just looking up something here. I'm sorry, guys.
It's like astral projection, really, isn't it? Just go wherever you fancy.
But yeah, spirits, I don't think they are.
Oh, do you think spirits can travel?
Yeah.
I do think that. I do think that. I have audio from where I had one of my very close friends who passed away 6-7 years ago now, and I got her in Leap Castle. I lived 3 hours from Leap Castle, 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Leap Castle. I asked a question of who I take with me when I go visit her, and she told me who I take with me. She told me who I take with me, and I have that audio. But okay. Yes, I do think they can travel. I do think they can travel. I mean, say if somebody lived in, say, Ireland or the UK, and that family moved over to America, and the parents have passed away, do they still get to see mum and dad? I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. So I do think they can travel.
Yeah. Go where the heart is.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think Jen's just sorting out the dog there.
Sorry, give him to me. Give him to me. Sorry, he needs me.
Oh,
So he wanted to run or something.
He's okay. He's okay. He's my little foster dog, and he needs his new mammy for a minute. I know he does. Sorry, that's why he's like a newborn. He's had special needs. He's like a newborn. So
He was trying to run there.
was he trying to run? His front legs don't work, but we're working on him. But anyway, he needed his mama for a minute, so he's here for.
And you know, sticking. Some more people jumped in. Hey, Bill. Hope you're well. You know, talking. You know, sticking on the theme to the darker side of things. You know, people seem to speak about the Ouija boards. You know, that can bring in spirits that imitate a loved one, but not necessarily are the person that comes through the spirit world. What are your thoughts on that?
So you go first.
telephone.
She's got that big smile. Yeah, that's what I want. When Sarah smiles like that, you
That's
know,
all right.
I did a lot of research on the Ouija board. Now they were back in they used them in China and they called them talking tables, and they go way back. And then some sort of toy maker got hold of them and they went flipping mental. In the like 1950s, 60s, people had dinner parties, and then it just sort of spiraled. It was like some people had good experiences on them, bad experiences on them, and of course they see them on all the shows, all these paranormal shows. And when we have guests, they all want to use them. So yes, we do take them with us, but we open them properly, we close them properly. We also make sure everyone says goodbye and take the planchette off, and we also do like an opening chant, asking for protection. And if anything, like I say, if it moves from left to right, circle A, anything that is just a bit dramatic, we say goodbye, we close it down, and we start again in a different area.
Right.
But did have a really, really freaky experience when I first started out as an investigator. Shall I tell the story? Because I'm itching to tell the story.
Go for it.
Okay. I tried to get Georgina on to do this, to the girl that it happened to. She came to Manor Farm as a guest with 3 of her friends. One of them did not want to go on the Ouija board. Separated the group. So the boys are upstairs on the twin beds and the girls are downstairs in the kitchen in the main house of Manor Farm. And we're on the big oak table. And 3 of them, including Georgina, are doing the Ouija board. And we have a K2 meter on the table with us. And we open it up and we get an old woman come through who's like 70 odd. She said she was 70 years old. She would not give her name. And every time we asked for her name, it would move to no and it would spell out N-O. She said that bad things happened in the house and that she likes to watch. And the girl says, would you go upstairs and scare the boys? But at the same time, with the movement of the Ouija board, the K2 is reacting and flashing each time in reaction to the questions that we're asking. And we said, okay, well, you go upstairs and scare the boys because they're upstairs on the twin beds. And it moves directly to no. So we take the planchette off and then I say to the girls, right, where do you want to go? Do you want to go upstairs with the boys or do you want to go into the schoolroom? And with that, the K2 starts like flashing like a traffic light. And we say, do you want us to go upstairs? Do you want us to go into the schoolroom? Nothing. Do you want us to go upstairs? We ask it 3 times. K2's flashing. Okay, Spirit, do you want us to go upstairs? Flashing. So we all go upstairs, all the girls, and there's another room right next to the twin room with a taxidermy dog. I think he's some sort of bull mastiff. And
Lovely.
yeah, he used to live on the farm apparently.
Oh wow.
And for the scare factor, I said to Georgina, do you want to go in there on your own for 5 minutes? See how you feel. She goes, oh, okay, I'll go in there. So we put her in there, close the door. She's all on her own. And then we hear this scream like a flipping banshee she was. And we all go pummeling in there. And she's got 3 scratch marks down the side of her. She says, I heard something. You got the picture?
I do. Do you want to put it up?
Just before, can I just pause everyone? So,
Sure.
While Bill, he's got a lot to say, so I thought, we all agreed we're going to send him a link to see if he wanted to come on, because it sounds like, especially with the dark side of the paranormal, this could be a guy that could shed some light. So I'm just going to bring him on. Reverend Wild Bill, I believe, is in his same house. So let's bring him on.
Fantastic.
Hey, how you doing?
There.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
How are
And
you?
yes, we have cookies on the dark side.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for
I mean,
agreeing to come on.
I mean, this is a conversation that I can add some things in, maybe.
That's great.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
Right.
if we take a few steps back, then, so we initially started up about the demons and demonic entities, you know,
Right.
and a lot of people say different things. Now, you've been in the paranormal field, I think the comment said 40 odd years,
Give or take a couple of thousand years, yeah.
you know. So what, in your experience then, how would you describe demonic entities and demons then? How do they get here?
Demons. We use the term loosely because when I think demons, I have a flashback to this certain person that makes my skin crawl. And we all know who he is. His name starts with the last letter of the alphabet.
Yeah, we know who you're on about.
But
Yeah.
anyway, to keep from giving him any credit,
Yes.
I won't say his name.
Absolutely.
Because even bad stuff still gives them credit, you know. So
Yeah.
I'd rather not even mention. But the thing is the deal is that demons, that is the proper word. But a lot of people will think that, and there again, I would say spirit, but I use the term energies.
Mm-hmm.
Because the body that we have is just a physical body.
Yeah.
The soul that people want to claim, that Christians claim, and there again, let me say this now. I do not want to step on anybody's toes. I am a priest, but I am a spiritualist priest.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to lead more toward the pagan belief.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
I am trained. I mean, I was raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I was excommunicated out of the Catholic Church.
Oh, wow.
Because the diocese did not appreciate me calling the Pope the Antichrist.
You did what?
I called the Pope.
I just say I love you right now.
But anyways, back to
This is Jenny's dream. This is me, like.
But the deal about the demons, first thing comes
Yeah, that's
first.
Mary.
A lot of people want to say that that they ran across a demon while doing paranormal investigations, and his name was such and such. It's an old man that da 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 da. And, okay, first thing come first. That was not a demon. That was an evil spirit. And just like I tell people, I think one of y'all even said, it might have been you, Jen. I think it was you, Jen, that said it. That if you're evil when you're alive,
oh yeah,
99% of the time, you're going to be evil after you die. It's your energy that is evil. So it's going to stay evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas in a demon was never human.
No.
Yes.
Also, too, let me do this. Let me say this also. You would be fooled by a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Because demons are usually not evil. They're usually good. You would ask them for something and they will give it to you. Kindly. They will not do harm to you. But they give you this on the grounds that when I'll put it like this, they're going to want in return.
Your immortal soul.
No, wrong, Sarah, wrong. That is,
I'm joking.
You've been watching movies too much. That's not it.
Like you said, you sold your soul to the devil.
See, that's not it. That's not it.
Okay.
That's
Sarah,
not it. And there again, if you do sell your soul to the devil, you can get it back.
Is that not like
Contrary to beliefs, you can get it back.
That's like the Illuminati. If you sell your soul to the Illuminati, like, you know, in the
anyways, see, now you're getting into a completely different thing that I can also talk about.
I know. Jenny just always go off trail. I'm Irish. What can I say? That's my.
I mean, the Illuminati, and it's also could be known as, a lot of people also want to call it the the Masons. A lot of people also want to call it different things.
All right.
Let's say the higher power. Let's just say that the higher powers that governs the living.
Oh wow!
That's
I want to know who they are. I want to know who they are and why. God Almighty, why do they? Why do
well, I could tell you. I could tell you a few, but there again, I'd have to quieten you afterwards.
I'm Irish. I can't. Go on, keep going. Tell us.
Oh, I can. But anyways, it's one of those type. It's one of those type things that
many have tried.
It's one of those type things. It's like I could tell you, but afterwards I'd have to kill you.
Many have tried and still failed.
But anyways, long story short, demons. When they want the reward for what they did for you, they will ask for it. And when they ask for it, they want it now. There is no, well, I'll give it to you next week. Oh, no. I did what you wanted me to. Now, I want my just rewards, and I want it now. And they will get it. Now, at that point, they can become harmful if you do not do your contract. If you do not do what you promised, at that point, yes. Now, as far as being harmful, let's bring back their, as most people would say, their higher power as a demon would be Satan. Let's say we're just going to use that term loosely because most of the people we talk to in the UK and America and all that are Christians. So we'll use the term Satan. Okay. People talk about how evil Satan is and how his minions are and everything. But I want to ask you one question. Have you ever heard of where Satan or any of his people have killed a person? No. But yet, the Christian God, has he killed?
Okay, because we're not even for the first time, I haven't even answered that. And normally I would definitely answer that. But even though, and I do agree with Nando, because sometimes I do talk too much about religion and I've stopped talking about it. And this is getting very religious.
Well, I talk about it in general. But see, the thing is, though, when you talk demons, you're talking religion.
Well, yes. Well, yes. And the Illuminati and
No. Leave the Illuminati. That is not religion.
But it's my show, and I can talk about it when I want to.
But I'm just saying, though.
I said it.
But, okay, well, you can talk about it, and you can say it. It's your show. I'm sorry, I did not mean that. But what I meant is that don't put Illuminati and religion together. They are separate.
I'm just putting demonic mindset together.
Okay, that's what I meant. But I didn't mean don't talk about it. I meant don't put the two together. That's what I meant.
Okay,
I do apologize. That's what I meant. I am sorry. I do apologize. I'm not sorry.
No.
I'm not sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay.
But that's not what I meant by that when I said that. I meant.
I understand. I totally understand.
Your outlook is quite the same as Richard Lillard. He says very similar things to you, actually.
Yeah. I think with regards to, when it comes to things like religion, there's so many different aspects and, there's so many different opinions about different things.
You could be here all day on it, couldn't you?
It is one of those things.
Okay. Well, I've studied them all. And this is all I want to say about religion. First off, I'm not here to impose what I think on anybody and make them want them to believe what I believe. Right. What I'm here to do is to state what I know and then to get you. I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to go out and find the answer on your own. I want you to research. I want you to find the answer. And what I really want you to do is to find an answer to prove me wrong. and then come back and tell me, because you might change this old man's mind.
Oh, I tell you, I love a challenge.
Who's that guy in Memphis?
My challenge has been, I'm sorry, Sarah, I didn't mean to walk on top of you. I'm just going to say my challenge has been out there for years. I have had nobody come back to challenge.
We should have a private conversation about this, because I have a few things to say on it too, but we should have a private conversation on it, and that's why I didn't answer earlier, but I would, but in private.
And what I was going to say real quick about the religion thing is that if you put all of them together, all the books together, and you read in between the lines, they all say the same thing. The only difference is the time of when it happened.
Okay.
The years. That's about the only difference.
But why would the years be different if it's the same thing? And I know, Nando, we're finishing up this now. Why would it be the same thing but different timing?
Okay, reason being is that I'll just use this one real quick, is that Christianity is one of the newer religions. The only one newer than it is the new Wiccan religion, which was done in 1930. Which is
Sarah Gardner.
Which, God bless their souls, they are trying to get back to some of the Wiccan ways, but they are not Wiccans. But anyways, to use the Bible, what it is they're using the time span of God and Jesus. And they are using the time of the Caesarean calendar. All right. Hindu, Muslims, all this has happened with them, but happened thousands of years before so-called Christianity. That's what I mean. You've got to see, the Christians are going to put it on a timeline they understand. That's the reason why, I've actually had Christians tell me that dinosaurs never existed, but yet fossils were put here just to test man's faith. Okay, that's what they say. That's what they say.
Okay, well, that's a lot of us silly.
Right. To each, well, see, like I tell people, to each their own thing. If that does you good, you believe it, and it's helping you, go for it. Go for it. Because I am not going to try to change your mind, because, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here. I just want you to try to expand your mind. Look, and you will find it. Because like I always try to tell people, the truth is out there. All you've got to do is look for it.
I don't want to find a demon.
Don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. What did you say, Sarah? What did you say, Sarah?
I don't want to find a demon.
On that note, in all my travels,
on
my travels on my journey, you know how many I found?
How many?
That I can truthfully say are demons.
How many?
2.
Oh, really?
Do you know what? I probably found more demons that were alive
than in the dead.
What some would say,
I'll back you up there, Jenny.
Big time, sister, big time, and they're alive. And one or two of them have passed away, but they haven't haunted me yet. But I do always have this out in case they come back, and I'll say, "Did you hear what I said when you were alive? I still meant it."
And a few horny little devils as well, eh?
But there again, we go back to what most people consider demons are just evil spirits, evil energies.
Yes,
evil people.
Yeah. Evil
people. They were. Now, how many of them have I ran up against?
Yeah,
too many to count. Too many to count.
I have to be honest now. I mean, very quickly before we end this part of the conversation, like we were saying, like you've encountered 2 demons. I've encountered one threatening one that I took heed from, and I respected, and I wasn't Billy Big Balls, and I respected, and the same with Sarah and so on. But the ones that I've encountered who are horrible demons are alive. Now, one of them have passed away. I'm still waiting for them to come and haunt me.
See, they're not really demons, like I said. They're people. So, yeah.
She is a horrible person, so. Oh, no, there's 2 of them, actually. One was another horrible. One of them who passed away said to me, "Jenny, I hope you die and rot and burn in hell." And I keep shouting down, "Is it warm down there? Is it hot?" Because he's such an arsehole.
Well, you know, I've had people tell me that also, even me being a priest. And you know what I tell them? I say yes, and when I get there, I'm going to kick the gates of hell down, jump on Satan's lap, and ask him, what's the password for the Wi-Fi? No problem. But, you know.
Brilliant. Well, what we're going to move on to the next subject. Thank you, Wild Bill, for being part of it and giving us your insight about the demons and demonic entities. That's really great.
We should do a show with Bill, just Bill on.
And then also the talking board, the Ouija board. I just got off a live feed about that. That's another one.
I know when people said, I know it keeps saying very quickly, but I'm Irish, and I always say long story short, but it never happens. When people say the Ouija board, is there a difference between a Ouija board and like a recorder? And if you're opening up you're opening up on a Ouija board up? No?
Yeah.
Different?
No, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One is by text, the other one's by voice.
Yeah.
Communication.
Similar. It could be
One
similar.
you've got them spelling out the answer.
Yeah.
The other one, they're just audibly answering it.
Yeah.
But
So,
I find this is more believable than an Ouija board, which is very funny because my mouse pad is an Ouija board. Sorry.
oh, I have a bunch of talking boards.
Well, the Ouija board, you'd never know if someone's hand is, you know, and like I was talking to a fantastic guy on my show before, and you don't mentally know that you're moving. You just don't know if you're doing it or not. What do you reckon, Sarah? Because I know you want to say something there and I interrupted you.
No, honestly, I just rubbing my eye. You're right.
But I think, do you know what? We can revisit all this with Wild Bill if we can do a show with Wild Bill.
Yes, that would be awesome.
And we can get into real, you know, because I know there's some other people that want to voice their stuff. We've got some emails to go through.
On this one, I will bow out then, I guess.
But I want to thank you for coming on and giving us a bit of the insight, and we will touch base with you, and we could do a show featuring yourself, and we can really get into the nitty gritty. Because I know Jen will get some, you know, she's got some questions, and I know she'll have some comebacks for you. So I think that'll be a great upcoming show to have.
You know, I'll be glad to join.
I would love you to come on with the three of us, and then because we have a few sections to talk through tonight, but for one night of an hour of when you come on,
we don't even have to do a live feed. We all four can just get on a thing and just have a little roundhouse.
Listen, I'm going to send you a friend.
A video chat. Do a video chat. I don't mind.
I'm going to send you a friend request right now. It's Jenny Sullivan Sunyasi. I'll send you a friend request.
Okay, I'll try to. Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, thank you for joining. Well, Bill, it's good to meet you.
Thank you again. And if I can be of any assistance at any time, feel free to give me a number.
We shall.
And I can at least kind of maybe guide you in a way, or at least make you think and find a way to get your answer.
That would be great. Can I just say,
thanks very much. Well, we'll catch up with you soon. But thanks for jumping on.
I love that statue behind you, Bill.
Oh, hold on.
There's blood on your window as well.
Which
the one with the baby in the mouth and the one with the beard.
Okay, that one with the baby in the mouth, that's a soul eater.
Oh wow.
The one over there with the beard, that's my Santa Claus mask.
Oh, yay. I love that.
Because I've also got
little children.
I mean, I've also got a gremlin. See, when you said kind of a statue, I thought maybe you was talking about the gremlin I have over here.
Oh, he's a classic. He is. I love the
gremlin. Or Chuck back there in the back.
Oh, the gremlin. You have the gremlin?
Oh.
Yeah, that gremlin's from one of the movies.
Yeah. I love that.
Brilliant.
I love them. I think I see a nun as well. And there's one at the very back.
Possessed nun. Once. That's my goat head, right? With the pentagram branded into its forehead.
Oh, I like that room a lot.
Well, it's something that we can we'll have to catch up with.
This is my inner sanctum, but we'll talk about all that. I'll show y'all this stuff. This is only a quarter of my stuff in this room. The whole room is like this. Wow. But anyways, let me go. I will talk to y'all later.
Friend's request.
Thank you very much for joining. We'll talk to you soon, Bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a million.
Brilliant. So it was great. you know, I can see there's difference of opinion brewing up there. So it'll be definitely a show to have with you and Wild Bill.
It'll be a great show.
It'll be a good one. It'll be like a bit of battles of the wheels there. But no, it was good to hear from an audience member. Thank you, Wild Bill, for joining. Any of you guys that want to tell us a story, something dark, anything, feel free to put notes and put a comment, and we can bring you on as well, just like we did with Wild Bill.
You can get a picture up, man.
Sorry?
You can get the picture up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Jen's going to get the picture up.
My little dog here. Sorry. Yeah, so I have the picture here. Is it
so,
here?
Yeah, so do you want to go back and explain the location just in case for people? So we were talking about demonic entities, energies, and different things that they can do. You were starting a story about being at Manor Farm.
Manor Farm, Georgina, I put her up to the Ouija board, said goodbye when we asked the Ouija board, the woman on the old lady apparently, to go upstairs and scare the boys. And then with the K2 meter, it was flickering for us. We were saying, do you want to go in the schoolroom to the girls, or do you want to go upstairs with the boys? And it said go upstairs. So going back upstairs, put Georgina into the other room with the taxidermy dog for the scare factor. Georgina screams her head off. We all run in there, and she's got 3 scratches down the side of her neck. Now, they say things come in 3 with demonic entities. Knocks 3. 1, 2, 3. Scratches 3.
Yeah.
Mocking of, what is it, Jenny? You know
Holy
this one?
Trinity.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah, let me put the picture up for you. You can still tell us about it, yeah?
Yeah, you can see, can't you?
Oh, that's crazy.
She vowed never to go back there again. And
I'll be honest, I don't think she's ever come back to an event since.
No, she hasn't. No, she wanted to come online tonight, but she had to work tonight, unfortunately.
Oh,
and I asked Dave, who is an empath who works with us at Portal to the Paranormal, and with me being unexperienced at the time, this is going back a couple of years now, he said, what happened on that Ouija board? And I said, it didn't want to give its name. We was asking its name. It kept saying no, kept spelling out. We goes, let me stop you there. If it doesn't want to say its name, then it could have been something demonic. But, you know, you don't know. Yeah, it could have just been a pissed off spirit. But the fact that it got her, she said it sounded like something was right in her ear, and then she felt sharp pain, and that was on her neck, and she was absolutely mortified. And that on the way home, this is when I was going to investigations on my own, Nando. I was going past, if anyone in Southampton knows Thornhill roundabout, my dad's ashes are over that roundabout. I was driving back from Manor Farm, and the car was freezing. The heating wouldn't come on. I tried to put the radio on. The radio was making all this funny noise, and I felt like I felt like I was freaked out anyway, but I felt like I was in the car. Oh God, the heating's not coming on. The radio's making funny noise. I really felt out of sorts, like something was there with me. And as I come around that roundabout, I knew that my dad, his ashes are on the road. I goes, oh my God, Dad, please protect me, Dad. If anything's can you? And then suddenly, boom, heating come on. I mean, I've been driving the car for about 5-10 minutes by then, and the heating still hadn't come on. The radio, full blast, and it just felt like everything was calm all of a sudden. But that could just be my psyche, and that could just be my mental state back then. But, you know, I don't think there's someone out there watching over me.
Temple of the Feast and Rising Entertainment, they may be relating to what you were saying, that whatever come through the spirit board didn't want to give its name, because yes, because if it says its name, you can get rid of it. Yeah. So maybe it's, you know. So do you believe then that with the spirit board, that everything that comes through is definitely the person that you're communicating with, or could it be something different? No? What about you, Jen?
I think when people say, oh, when you hear little children, oh, there's Mary. In all the years I've been investigating, our team have never taunted or provoked a spirit or asked it to do something to anyone on investigation. You're asking for trouble.
And you're right. I was unexperienced. You're absolutely right. Back then I was unexperienced. I know better now.
Yeah, we know now, like you would never say that. If someone said, can you just tap on XYZ shoulder, tap, you know, that was back in Lepcastle, and that was with another team. But it did happen. It did happen. Yeah. But when they say about, you know, children, we were talking before about children's spirits, and like if you see one or hear one, are you going to help it? No. I am not going to help it. It's like, Jenny, come help me. I'm like, you're on your own. I'm not doing it. Too many movies. And now we do get children in some locations. The history to it is legit. There's other places. Well, that's very true, yeah.
That's very true. We're not real name.
Say the museum that we do in the Drogheda Museum Millmount, and we do have children there. And we never get their names. So one night we were outside of the building, looking in through the glass doors, and the sensor light was at the very, very, very bottom of the hallway. It's probably about 40, 50 feet, something like that, if not more. And so I'm all outside, and I said, and the guys know what I'm like. If I start coming up with names and saying, Jenny, it's happening again, isn't it? I'm getting random names in my head. And is there Patrick? Is there Sean? Is there Michael here? Who's you, Shannon? Who's you, Tracy? It's like names come into my head, but we'll kind of joke half the time. But I did say, can I call you Helen? The little girl, can we call you Helen? And the light at the very bottom, about 50 feet, something like that away, lit up. And Jenny being Jenny, thinking, it's battery. It's a sensor light. I don't get it all the time, but I did go, oh, did you see that? And then I asked more questions. Can you turn it off? And it turned off. Girl, we didn't record it. That's the only thing we didn't record it. And those who know me will take my word for it, and those who don't can check up on me or whatever. I'm too busy to bull crap. He's crying. Oh, the puppy's crying. And so anyhow, yeah, so any questions I asked Helen, the little girl, lit up. So we had her upstairs one night, and yada, yada, yada. Do I think Helen is Helen to this day? I don't know. But if Helen says, Jenny, come down to the kitchen, but come by yourself. I'm not going down.
Look it down there. Skip down there.
We're staying next Saturday night. We're all going to be there. The whole full team and one of the people who work there is going to be there. And we're doing a sleepover. Oh, yeah. Lady Harriet. Oh, we did hear her in Charleville Castle. Was the only definite child spirit I've encountered. The others wouldn't be 100% certain. We've heard her, Mary. And I looked at Aidan, Aidan looked at me. And when Gillian was talking, and I looked at Aidan, I'm like someone's running upstairs because I wouldn't talk when someone's talking. And that's kind of lying, isn't it? Because I jump over everyone. But oh yeah, so Saturday week we're having a sleepover in the museum. We're doing a full investigation. One of the people who work there wants to come with us. By all means, you work there, come with us. She never feels anything. I've been told she was. Yeah, I've been told she was, and and I don't want to experience that part. I have been told she was. But we did hear her. She was absolutely brilliant. So we're going to do in the museum. We're going to stay overnight. And I said, hey, let's do a final destination or fear destination. Final destination is maybe a fear destination. Put our names and rooms into two different hats. So we're going to pull out one and pull out the other and see what room we're all going to sleep in. And Louise said to me, Jenny, what room are you sleeping in? What room do you want to sleep in? And I said, whatever room you're sleeping in, Lulu. Knowing me, I'll get the kitchen. But we're going to do little lives. I know I'll do one when I'm sleeping there, you know. And I don't know. I could, when the investigation is over, I could throw a gin and tonic in before we go to bed. I don't know. Pamela, you're always here. It doesn't matter if you're late, you're always here. Better late than never. Destination fear, that's the one. So we'll put our names and the rooms into each hat just for fun.
And just pick, definitely.
And just pick, yeah.
So, keeping with the theme, other things that have been hot topics is attachments to objects. Now I've never really. Now I've got a quick little story. So I've never believed in things like that.
I remember saying a quick little story.
It is. Well, okay. So a lot of people say that certain, we could say energies, whatever it could be, attach themselves to certain objects. Now, we did an investigation at a haunted antiques museum. And I kid you not, right? Anyway, me and Dan being a bit of the immature ones in the group, there's a particular garment that's covered in a glass dome. And the story is that this particular garment, if you mess around with it or you drop it and break it, you will break a limb yourself. So it was highly suggested never to touch it.
People died as well touching it.
Nando,
Yeah,
can I say something quickly, Nando? Can I say something quickly? I have it written down here, one word and your name to bring it up and what you're talking about now.
No. So me and Dan, being the immature, we waited till we were on our own. And we were like, do you believe in it? And I'm like, no, I don't believe. You know, certain things I find it very hard. Anyway, so this figurine happened to be some kind of woman. And she had, you know, breasts and everything. Yeah. So we carefully lifted it and we each rubbed a boob. Like stupid little children, I get it. We each rubbed a boob and thought nothing of it. Anyway, the next day we had left the location and we were driving and we had Dan in one car, we had another car and us in the back. And do you know what? I kid you not, me and Dan and his partner and us in the car that we were in both nearly got in the car crash on the same road. And do you know what? We pulled over and we both got out of the car like white as ghosts, excuse the pun. And it's just made me think, do people believe that things can attach themselves to items that could actually cause harm to us? Is this real? Now, after that experience, I'm on the fence with it, you know.
I know who you could ask.
Nando, you just right. That is true. The boobs were quite attractive, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, on a serious note,
you see, Nando, introduce you to your wife down here.
Sorry?
I just introduced you to your wife down here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he touched another woman's boob.
I retract that.
I
retract that last comment I made, people. But, you know, I know Temple of the Phoenix Rising Entertainment say it's very real. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts?
I'll throw this in very quickly, and if I can run upstairs and find them and get them for you. I bought compact makeup from. They look fabulous. Can I run off here for 2 seconds and go get them for you? Okay.
Sarah, do you want to give your opinion while Jen runs off?
Well, Nando, do you remember when we lived in Eastleigh and I come back from yet again Manor Farm, and our son Gino was very small. Me and my sister had gone on an investigation and we'd come back wired because we had the table going crazy and we heard footsteps running across the landing. You went upstairs, come back, excuse the pun, white as a ghost, saying that everyone's asleep, no one's there. Couple more weeks went by. One of our boys was saying, Mummy, it keeps saying my name. Reese was getting punched in the stomach. I had to put a crucifix in his bedroom. We were getting little droplets of water falling on us randomly on a hot summer's day. And then one night at 3 o'clock in the morning, what happened, Nand? Do you remember?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the kids had come in. And we both felt what we thought was small hands. That's why we thought it would either have been Gino or Rocco. And it tugged at our feet. You know, that was
and my foot.
Yeah, that was an experience that because this was at the time where I wasn't as involved with the paranormal as you were, and it was quite it was scary.
We slept with the light on, didn't we? And the fact that we was talking to the children and Reese was getting punched in the stomach at night, I had to go around the entire house and say to it, address it, get the hell out of my house. I won't say that. That's a nice word that I used, but I was very forceful. Every single room, get out of my house. This is my house. You are not welcome. You get out of my house. And then that was it, wasn't it? But then you saw your granddad as well, didn't you, in that house?
Yeah, we can discuss that. That was something else in that house as well. That was amazing. But with regards to just stepping back a moment, with your thoughts, you know, because I know you've looked into a lot of things. Hey, Drew, thank you for joining. You know, when it comes to attachment of objects, do you believe that energies can do that? like they attach themselves. So when you touch it, you're taking a part of that energy, or what's your
I think
thoughts?
so. Yeah, I think there's something that you love. There's a certain object in the house, what I don't want to mention, but I feel that there's an attachment to that. But I think it's a nice attachment.
I know what you're on about. Give me
Yes.
1 second. So
I think out of sensitivity, you shouldn't say too much, Nando. But
no, I won't say too much. But we have a little. It's an Italian mouse. Basically, I think it was based on the cartoon.
it got given to us, didn't it?
It belonged to a family member that we consider. She was very dear to our hearts.
Oh yeah, and I grew up with her. Yeah,
and this is the little dude, right?
Yeah,
and we took it after she had passed away. Now we have it sitting on the side of our display cabinet.
The boys love it.
The boys love it, but we said it in a certain way.
What's his name? Is it called? What's it called? It's called Geo something. Pepilo Geo.
I might
show him up again. I want to see him. We cleaned him up.
He is. But it just seems to be lately. He seems to be moving its position. Like we put it in the cabinet where no one touches it, and then it just keeps moving itself. So, could that be a symbol that?
And yeah, I think so. If you like something a lot and you really want to see it, you're freaked out now, aren't you?
Yeah, because as much as I like it, it's going to end up in the box in the garage. And if that comes out of the box in the garage, then we're moving. We're gone. We
sit there and it slowly moves around.
That's it. Can you imagine that? But we're sitting in watching TV and then suddenly the head just starts doing a 360 turn. No, can't do that. But yeah, do you know what? I agree with what you're saying.
It's like rings and that when people hold them, or these people that are empaths, aren't they? That they can hold something or touch something and they get the feeling of where it's been and who gazed at it, who loved it. Definitely. When you go into a haunted manor and all the furniture's there from whoever lived there, you get the feelings of the spirits that loved that furniture, I guess, and was surrounded. That was their home, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. And do like we were saying about the figurine that me and Dan come across in the, and it would be great to hear your guys' thoughts as well in the comments. Do you think evil energies can attach themselves and cause us damage just by touching it, by acquiring a piece like that? Could it cause an effect on us as humans?
They've all seen Annabelle, obviously.
The Wild Bill's still in the room. Thank you for still being here. So some of the people's energies stay with the items sometimes. I think a bit like what you were saying.
Yeah.
So Marty just danders into the room. Okay. Is Jen back?
Oh, back in the room.
She is.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I was upstairs looking for those pieces of lovely makeup, compact makeup with the mirrors. The powder's still in it, and when you open it up, it smells like old makeup. It smells like the 70s or 80s. Not that I'm that old. I'm just saying it probably smells like my mother. I don't know. But there was another thing that I did buy on, I don't know where I bought. I think I bought it on eBay. Was this?
Oh,
is that a divot box?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is what I bought, and it could be just something and nothing. I'm going to take it out now. Hold on. It's a bit messy. Hold on, let me get my glasses on. I can't see. Spot. Oh, Jesus, there's so many things in this I don't know what they're used for, but I'll hold on. I think it's, I don't know what's I forget what it's measured for. So let me see what goes in here. Okay, so this screws into this.
Okay, yeah.
Like a voltmeter. Something screws into that, which I don't know what. Anybody know what I bought? Because I don't, and I bought it many years ago.
What is it?
I don't know. Look.
You should look into eBay and see
Is
what
it like checks the voltage of electricity, like
Yeah,
for appliances?
I bought it off eBay.
Is it? We know when mental people get electric shock treatment. Is it for that?
Oh,
Electric shock treatment.
Electric shock treatment.
metal. Marty's saying it's a metal detector, the Geiger counter. Okay, so now I'm putting the.
Definitely not. I agree with you, Eric. Not on eBay.
I've no idea what I'm doing here, but there's like. But I did buy this on eBay though.
Why did you buy it,
Could
Jenny?
it be a metal detector?
It looked old, so I bought it.
Well, we were just talking about we were just talking about items and how energies can attach themselves to it.
I have this many years, and it's heavy, like it's steel, whatever.
Anything happen with it? Anything that you can think of?
No, I'm trying to figure out where this and this goes, and where this screws into the bottom of it, but I've no idea what that is. Could that be the? I don't know. Hold on.
Wild Bill's put it's an antique EMF meter.
Yes, that's what I read on Facebook.
Ah.
So an old-fashioned ear.
Yeah, because you'll see here. It's like you see the volt, and you see if it top spike. So that it's like this. What do you call it? The spike meter. You know the spike meter. But this here, I think that goes there. This goes here. I don't know where that goes. I haven't. I think after about 6 years, I'm figuring out how to use it. I kid you not. You will see me on live figuring out how this worked. And I have about 6 years. Power leaks.
That's mad. Just while you're doing that, so Kate's put a comment. We're talking about attachments of, on items. So I have both my granddad's and my pop's flat caps hung on the wall and framed at home. They wore them every time they went out, and I'd like to think some of their energy is attached to them, and they're looking out for me and my 2 children. I've got to be honest. We're stepping into the lighter side of the paranormal. This is my comfort zone now. And I've got to be honest, I do think that family members will always be a part of our lives. I think a part of their energy always stays with us, and I think we can all agree we've all had certain experiences where I've personally seen family members walk into the room like they're still here. So I do think it's definitely a comfort for a lot of people as well. Suzette Jasmine, thank you for your comment. I believe a spirit's energy can attach to a personal item / imprints. Have you guys ever bought anything from an antique shop and then you think, oh, this might be haunted in some way?
Not an antique.
Nando.
Oh yeah, we're not going to talk
under
about
the cupboard. We're not allowed to say what it is, but it does eat the pennies, and that is creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's not
second-hand shops.
Sorry,
I've bought from second-hand shops, but not antique shops. No, because they'd be too expensive.
And have you ever bought anything that's been quite old that you feel that there's something attached to it?
No, I haven't. No. I haven't. Like this here now, what I'm thinking is, because I can't fix it properly, I'm thinking this is the top part, this is the bottom part, it's now connected.
Yeah.
So you would test something like metal or electricity to see if that spikes up.
Must be a magnetic thing then to help to see if it spikes up.
Well, it's like metal, but this bit here in the middle is rubber, which would be understandable, rubber and electricity and all that crack.
So no power involved in it?
No. I think it's just, I don't have this bit connected yet because it keeps coming out. And this other bit that kind of connects to Volts means electricity. Yeah, so that's why that rubber bit is in the middle, so you don't get shocked.
No.
Do you know what would be great to see is if you left that line around and then it started spiking on its own.
That's how it would be, just like that, because you have to untwist that out to detach it. Well, we could take that with us on a locations and see if that spikes.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that I can take it out with me. Yeah. Rubber bits for
Definitely see what
grounding. Yeah,
happens.
rubber bits for grounding. I do know that. I do. Look at my camera; it's always going blurry. The rubber bit is for grounding. Yeah. So that's what I bought off Facebook in this old rubbery boxy thing, because Jennifer had. Oh, do we have another piece? Oh, we have another piece.
Oh.
Do we have anything else? And that's what it looks like in the inside.
I thought it was a divot box when you brought it out.
No.
They're meant to hold evil spirits, aren't they?
So
I was just about to get on that because Eric said, I think it was Eric that said, never buy a divot box off
no.
eBay.
It's like finding a ghost in a jar.
What are your thoughts on the divot box?
We have one.
Yeah.
Sorry, what you say?
We opened one in a certain place, but we can't say where. Nothing happened.
I know. See, I agree. I agree with what Marty said, that the divot box is not real. And the reason created by a guy for a quick money on eBay.
Marty, I'm just going to ask you a question. Were you there when that divot box was opened, or were you at home doing the admin? I don't know if no, I don't think you were there, Marty. Me and Marty know of a person that opened up a divot box, and everything was like, drum roll. When we get to 500, then we'll open it up. When we get to 500, we'll open it up. I was like 499. Oh, you were there, Marty.
Okay.
Oh no, Marty. No, Marty.
I was liking the fact that you just said they were fake. I was liking the fact that you said they were fake.
Marty's one of our. Oh, Marty's Irish now. He's from the north of Ireland now. I know, Marty. I know, such a letdown. Listen. It's also, send, watch us. But it was. Now I slept in that room. I slept in a room with that divot box, and here I was like a Christmas parcel. What's in it?
Yeah.
That's just my makeup bag. There's a lot in it. But somebody used it as a pillow at one time. And what else? So I watched the live of this divot box being opened. And I had said to one of the guys, and I said it to the person who owned it, I said, look at the candle wax, because there's always sometimes candle wax on a divot box. And this one had the Russian symbol on it. So anyway, there was this big, 2-hour wait for a fracking divot box to be opened up. Are you ready now? You ready? And somebody had a chisel and a hammer, and I'm like, Jesus, take the whale. Are we going to open it or are we going to not? So they opened it, and they were very apprehensive of opening it. And I was kind of like, I don't know. And I can't do the accent because they know who I know what I'm talking about. And I'd love to do that. Oh, fuck it, I'll do the accent anyway, don't care. I don't know now. If I open up now. And everyone stood back now and didn't want to open it up because of from the north of Ireland, and they didn't want to open it now. I'm standing back here. Hold on. Just put this in front of me before they opened up this box. So I'm like the Texan saying, would you fucking open up the box? And I said, fucking. And they did. They opened it up, and there was a stone in it. There was a photograph that was half burnt. There was a coin in it, and a candle, half a candle, burnt candle in it. Marty, I drove in a car and was there when it was opened. I never really felt anything, to be honest. Was definitely a fake. Maybe real ones out there, but I highly doubt they are all legit. I think it's got to do with the intention when creating it. Plus, it was a German symbol. Yeah, sorry, I said Russian. Sorry, it was German symbol. Yeah. Jenny gung ho. Jenny, we're gonna fall out. Nay. What about you? So nothing happened, and I tell you very quickly, nothing happened. And at the end of it, they went down to the beach, which was beside it. And if you're watching, hello, and they went down to the beach, lit a bonfire, and put it in they watched it burn. Everyone watched it burn live. But the worst part was people knew where they were. So you have public coming up and outside. So it's a little bit dangerous too, which you kind of like, don't. I don't know if Marty, if they said where they were that night. I'm not too sure. But anyhow, yes, that was it. Do I think the real long story short, like an Irish person, my story was very long, but I'll get to my answer now. Like Marty, some are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I'm on the fence with it because, we opened up a Dibbit box in what is known to be a very haunted house. It's had movies done about it, I think, and, again, it was like Dan was like the child with the toy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
We did spend about we did debate it for a little while. Should we, shouldn't we? And then we ended up just doing it. And I've got to be honest, I think for me, that made me feel more on edge opening that than actually staying in this house. Yeah, I've got to be honest.
Oh, wow.
We were staying at 30 East Drive
And
in Pontefract. Right? Oh, no, we're honest with what we're
Sarah,
saying.
I'm going to get the sweeping brush and bang the ceiling. Nando!
flipping band now, opening Dibbit boxes.
But do you know what? That night, it did freak me out, and I think it's because I didn't know what it actually was. And do you know what? That house has the era in that house, the atmosphere. I was so scared to go to the loo. That's how scared I was for some reason. And it got to the morning, and I was plucking up the courage to think, I'm going to get up and go to the toilet.
You
And
did?
little Joe, who's in our team, she was sleeping in the kitchen part. And I sat up on the edge of the sofa, and I went to get up, and she just went, vroom, sat up, looked around, and laid back down.
She does that.
I ain't getting up now. I put my head back under my cover, and I just waited till someone else got up to go to the toilet.
Nando,
You know
really?
what?
I mean,
And I was there. I swear to you, I was there rocking on the sofa. I was like, oh my God.
and
I
where
need
was
to go
the
upstairs.
where was the bathroom? Where was the bathroom? Was it upstairs, downstairs? Whatever.
It was upstairs. Oh, and they had a bathroom downstairs. They had a toilet downstairs as well.
So why didn't you go on that?
Because I was too scared to move.
Oh, God.
Honestly.
Nando, how long ago was that?
Last year when it said? It was last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
I do believe that Joe, the dad, he died in that bathroom. Joe's there, 100%. But whether anything else is there,
Do you know what, honestly, mate, I might have left a bit of mess. But yeah. But again, it's that story, the 30 East Drive, very, very, the stories have been very
the monk,
evil.
Pontefract.
And what's the other one? Where was it? They did Enfield Hauntings.
Yeah,
was it
can't get in
Enfield?
there. Someone lives there now.
Yeah, we've
Does have a
written a
weird
letter as well
energy.
to them to see, but they said no. 30 East Drive does seem to have weird energy. Have watched several investigations there.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do
Pamela,
Ouija boards there.
You walk into the place, and it's like you go into a different, like you're transported into a different era completely.
70s.
The house is still say that again, sir.
You're transported into the 70s.
Yeah, it is. It's like that. And do you know what made it worse? We watched the film based on that house.
When the lights go off.
And do you know what?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you know the worst thing is, everyone went to sleep absolutely fine. I was scared to go to sleep, and Sarah went and slept upstairs, and I stayed
Don't sleep.
downstairs.
My bed's shaking though.
By yourself. Listen, I'm not even sleeping in Millmount on my own next Saturday night. Like I said earlier, Sarah said, Jenny, where are you sleeping? And I'm like, wherever you are, where you want to sleep? Where do you want to go? Because when people pull our names out, we have Sarah, we have Alan, we have Aidan and Niall or whatever. I'm going to have mine, Jenny and Sarah. Oh, call out Jenny and Sarah. We're staying in the same room together. I'm not doing
We're
it.
meant to be paranormal investigators. The biggest bunch of pussies out there. You sound.
Let me tell you.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst for it. I can't. Do you know what, Jen?
I get
If you
scared of them, I
was to
guess.
come with us, one day we would definitely investigate together.
100%.
Right?
100%.
100%. But I'm up for everything, right? I will push myself. But do you know what? I'm if that's directed at me, I'm absolutely fine with that. Chicken, that's fine. I'm the first to.
That's
I-
me.
yeah, I can't help
Me
myself.
in the room on my own.
Say
Huh?
again, Jen.
I think that's to me because I won't stay in a room on my own. I won't stay in
well,
the room.
we could be together in that. We can be together. I will. Well,
You
actually,
know
to
what I
be fair,
mean?
when we did the Haunted Antiques Museum,
You did. You
right, I
stayed in the
stayed at
really
the
scary
very.
room.
I stayed at the right at the top of the building. It
Ouija
was like in
room.
the attic part, and I slept in there on my own. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to be a bit of a Billy Big Balls and try something. So I sat and did the Ouija board on my own.
On his own, which
right?
you should never do now.
On my own,
No,
right?
no, you weren't a Billy Big Balls. You were a stupid.
Okay, so I was stupid. But do you know what? I sat there and did it, right, in the dark. And I kid you not, the chair looked like it had rattled, like someone had just sat on the chair next to me. And you know what? I completely froze. I don't even think I closed it. Yeah, that's true. I'm not making myself look good, am I? But
No,
I'm going to be honest.
really.
You know what? I slept the whole night in that room. I still slept in there, but I had my torch on for the whole night. And everyone said to me, "Did you sleep in the dark on your own?" I was like, "Yeah." Dan pulled out the video clip to show that I had the light on all night. I was just
Oh no! I'd rather sleep in the dark than a torch on. Because last weekend, my bulb is loose in my lamp beside my bed, and the light went off, and I was like, "It's okay, it's fine." Yes, I'm awake. And
You're only human. If you don't get scared, you're not
the lamp. I was touching the bulb for it to come back on, and it did because there's a loose thingamajig in it. But like we were saying about being scared, I'm going to call it human nature, and I'm going to stick that on, and I'm going to own it and wear it. Seen too much, as much as I want to see, maybe I want to see one or two more. Heard a lot, felt a lot. I ain't stupid. I'm not going into that bathroom. I know bathrooms. The only bathroom I would go to on my own is Lep Castle, because it's on the same floor as everyone else, and you can still hear them talking. That's the only one I'll go into. Now, I have gone into the Millmount Museum bathroom by myself, but it was daytime, and even that was apprehensive doing that. And I was in it yesterday morning, and I could hear Alan. He was quiet for about 10 minutes, and I'm upstairs doing a session because we had to do some work in the museum. And I'm like, "Alan, where are you?" So there's me walking down the hallway in daylight, thinking like, oh my God, I'm actually walking down the hallway in Millmount by myself in daylight. Oh my God, yes, I'm getting more better. No, you will not see me. It was hard to do it in daytime, let alone nighttime. I think everyone should come to that building and for a few times and understand what I'm talking about when I say this building. I lived in it. I grew up around it and to it, and now I investigate it. For my team is running 6 years this year now, and so 7 years maybe I'm in the location at this stage, 8 years maybe. But anyhow, yes, I have won't go to the bathroom on my own apart from Lep Castle. Mona Myrtle might be in there. Who's that, Marty? Who's that?
Mona Myrtle from Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. She
Bathroom.
goes into the loo, doesn't she?
I know.
You need bulbs for batteries.
And Mary, do you know what? I swear to God, I was in town the other day and I said, right, I'm going to get some batteries, but I have no one to stand on the. Well, I can do it myself, but it's really hard to open up. And I keep saying every time we go live, I keep saying, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And do I do it? No. Do I think about it? Very much, all the time. And when people talk about it, then I can hear it. And I know when I do like a call out here, sometimes like, we have a few drinky poos on us and a few of us on a call, say, hey, let's do a call out in Jenny's house. I did last weekend and a few weekends before that, did a call out and we do a playback. All you can hear is beep, which you're going to hear now because I can hear it now. So I will have it done for the next call out in my house. Why do we do a call out in my house? I don't know.
I don't know. I want to see something, but not in my own home.
I've
For
heard
investigation, I do want to see a ghost, but not in my own home.
I see something scary every morning when I wake up.
Shut your face, Nando. Shut it now. I want to do investigation when I'm doing a sleepover. I always wrap myself up like a cocoon in my sleeping bag, and I'm thinking, nothing touched me. But then I get to a certain point that if I did see a ghost, I'd be so tired. I don't give a fuck. Just do what you want to do. I'm just too tired. I've gone past that point of being scared completely.
Yeah. Do you know what? I do look scary in the mirror in the morning. I agree.
Jesus, I look scary. I mean, when I look, even today, I look scary. Yesterday, I looked scary. The day before, I looked even scarier. Just tiredness, pure tiredness and exhaustion. Like I do a lot. Like we all do a lot.
Mhm.
We all do a lot. And I've taken in an extra dog, like I said. No, a different one. Like I took in a pup a few days ago with, what's it called? Swimmer's syndrome, puppy syndrome. So it's like when he's awake, I'm awake. When he sleeps, I sleep. And so on and so on. So a little bit tired and whatnot. And I have absolutely no idea how I got onto that conversation.
So, you know, the last part of the segment that I wanted to touch base on is poltergeist activity. Right. You know, again, this is something that's been highly documented over the years. You know, what are your thoughts on poltergeist activity? Is this just a pissed off energy, like we were saying that it's pissed off in real life and it's moved on to be pissed off, or again, could this be something that is unnatural?
Well, I tell you, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in here very quickly, Sarah, but I'm definitely
you go for it, Jen.
I'm going to fly through this when I make it short because I waffle. My twin, Victoria, Vicky, lived in some part of London with her now husband, Noel, and they lived with the boss. And they lived in this beautiful house. And so this owner of the house always had someone with her, and they nicknamed him Hank. So they had this heavy wooden chairs and wooden table and so on. And my sister went over to the UK to visit them for a weekend, and they were all sitting outside at the balcony, you know, having a barbecue and whatnot. So Noli would go inside to get some extra foods and whatever. Excuse me. And he had to go through the kitchen to go into the living room. He went in and the TV was on. So he turned the TV off. And then it kept going on and on and on. The last time he went into the house, he went back out through the kitchen. All the heavy wood chairs were on top of the table, stacked in a way you couldn't stack them. Now, that was the most serious part that happened in that house that made Noli go white. And he went out to the balcony, and Vicky looked at him, and Vicky said, "What happened?" Something happened. And I know Noli. And Noli would be the kind that would need to sit down. He'd need to sit down. And there's times where, you know, when you have a fireplace and the thick wood mantelpiece would be so high up, you can't put anything on it. There's a few ornaments on it, but you need to get onto a step ladder to get on top of it, or a ladder to get on top of it and put things up on it. When they had left the house to go to a pub across the road, you could throw a stone and hit the door. It was that close. They lived in the countryside. When they came back, all of Vicky's birthday cards were on top of the mantelpiece when they were on the table. And that's for this guy, Hank, to say, "It's your birthday, it's your day." And then they came back another time, and you have the lampshade, and all the coins were set in their cents or the pences and whatnot, and stacked up on the rim of the lampshade. So they all knew, the owner of the house knew it was someone that followed her from house to house to house to house wherever she moved. But he wasn't a bad guy. He was a nice guy, Hank. So, I mean, my sister, who went over to England for the weekend, said nothing to Vicky until the day she was in the airport, and said, "Vicky, what's going on in your house? What's going on in the house?" I could hear someone running up and down the stairs. I could hear chairs being thrown down the stairs. I was in a sweat with the blanket over me. Vicky and Noli could hear when they first moved in, like someone's gone running up and down the stairs and so on. And they said they did nothing and said nothing. Vicky said, "You get used to it." And you would get used to it. But that's the only thing I know of a nice poltergeist. How short was that story? Was it short enough? No.
No, that's great. That's great. So, and the house that they visited, then, do they still have that sort of activity going on in that house? Or?
No. The owner had moved. Vicky and Noli came back home to live in Ireland. So we don't know anything about that house. We don't know if they keep contact. I don't know about that. And if he still follows her. And they just nicknamed him Hank. So he was a nice guy. Not all of them is bad. He's a nice guy. Is he a poltergeist? I wouldn't say. he's a poltergeist. I would say he is a spirit or whatever that follows her. Is he a poltergeist? Is poltergeist not meant to be bad?
And what, in your opinion, what constitutes as a poltergeist? What are the key things, you know, that makes you think it could be poltergeist activity? What are they known to do?
For me, could it be movies again? I think it could be movies again. When I think of poltergeist, because thankfully, I touch wood, I've never had an experience here. Moving stuff, smelling bad stuff. Now, I've smelled bad stuff. That would be my children. No, not my children.
You had me drawn in.
So Sarah was really reading into that. Did you see the concentration in her face?
No, it wasn't my children. It could be like my puppy who's not trained or whatever. But
noisy ghost. It does mean noisy ghost.
Noisy ghost.
It does mean
the bad smell, the noisiness of it by clattering stuff and whatnot, and getting your attention and so on. Yeah, like Marty just said there, poltergeist isn't a bad spirit necessarily, just looking for attention. So it could be the one that lived with Vicky Noley and the person that owned the house, which I'm not going to say the name. I do know, but I can't say her name. Not that anybody would know her, but you know, just in case I'm sued. No, I'm not saying her name.
What about you, Sarah? What's your thoughts?
I believe that poltergeists are just, I'd say, they say there's a difference between a spirit. A spirit is something that can move around, pass nicely and revisit places, where a ghost is a ghost that is lost. And it just, I think that it could be a ghost that has got the ability to just move stuff. And also with elementals or anything else, it's the same thing. They can just move it if they want to, if they have the feeling to do so.
Yeah.
And I do love a good poltergeist. I've experienced a few things. First of all, Stanford House, when we put a cat ball, I had about 10 guests and they were sat on this really long like picnic table, and we put this cat ball on an old wheelchair, and it was like someone once went ping, and his apple shot across the room, and you should see these 10 guests like slow mo.
No.
And they all got up and flipping pegged it to the door.
Did
they
they?
sat themselves. It was fantastic. And
Did they really?
second time I experienced it is when we was at Talking Museum. There was some footage that was on national TV of some stuff moving and falling off on the shelves in the gift center, in the gift place where they sold all the gifts. And no word of a lie, this book, you know, you get the pages and you just flick it with your finger.
Yeah.
I looked round and it literally went, and I was like, did anybody see that? And it looked like someone had moved this book. The second one, oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot now. Do you know what was just there?
You're building everyone up. She's building everyone up, people.
I'll remember later.
It's the longest that I stayed quiet because I'm so intrigued. I wanted to know about
I know.
what was.
I'll bloody remember later. No, it's gone.
You know, I think
I don't come back.
I'll shout in when I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this sort of relates to like the energy. Well, it must do. We did our last investigation at Manor Farm, and it was me, Jojo, and we were in the big barn. Now, again, it takes me a lot to believe in a lot of things. I've come in, you know, I do believe in spirits, 100%. I've seen spirits, you know, well, my family more than anything. But table tipping was always a thing for me that it's easy to mimic the table, especially if you've got a flimsy table. Right, it's easy to lift it, move it.
Yeah.
But if you can imagine, we were in the barn, and the table must have been a full-size picnic table, but it was really thick wood. It wasn't like you can't just lift it with one person. Well, we were doing a table tipping session, and you know what? The table had lifted onto two legs, and it wasn't moving. And I was like, okay, who's doing it? The first thing I said was, who's lifting the table? And you know, I kid you not, and we got Luke, he filmed it. He filmed it. Everyone at the table took their hands off the table, right?
Okay.
And stood back a little bit, and it was still leant over on two legs on its own. And Luke actually was able to get under the table and film The fact that the two legs were on, it was just standing on its own.
I love a bit
Right.
of walking.
Do you know what, Jen? I'll send you a picture. There's a picture that they got of me sitting at the end of the table.
Sorry, I just put that up and then I reread it and then I know what Marty's talking about. Marty.
Oh, you can elaborate on that. But you know, there's a picture of me. I'm sat in the corner yet again. I haven't got a clue what to do. You know, it was like, but this table was so when it come back down, it didn't. Do you know, like when you lift it and you drop it, it makes that big bang where it's just been. It didn't do that. It was put down very gently back onto all four legs.
Do you have the video of that?
Yes, we. Yeah. No, I can get it off Luke. I can get it. No, Luke didn't put that one on there. Luke's still got that. I can get that and I can put that in for another show and I'll show you it. And you literally see Luke.
I remember what I was going to say. I remember just quickly before I forget again. Nun's cross stand. We were sat there having a convo.
This better be good.
Nun's cross stand a couple of weeks ago.
Hold on.
We were just chatting casually at the table.
Okay, Sarah, I've just muted him. Talk, don't mind him.
Nun's cross a couple of weeks ago. We was in Dartmoor, and there was Nando. One end of the table was like I think it was about 12 o'clock. There was little Joe.
Oh, nearly got you, didn't I, Jen? Nearly got you.
It was in the corner. One of our guests stand. What was her name?
Julie.
Julie on the other side, and we're just generally chatting, weren't we? And this massive picnic table just went. Just shunted. No one was touching it, nothing. Just shunted across the floor. And we all were like, oh, who did that? No one was touching it.
See, we don't get that. Even I see Nando, was it you that sent me the video? You did. And like Lulu on Emerald Isle, she has cat balls, right? We have 5 of them out. Nando puts out 2 cat balls, 3 cat balls, and they keep going off. And I sent it on to Lou. And they never go off, ever.
You're on about the one that you're talking about was I sent you a clip. So we went to Murchison Hall in I think it's in Horndean in Portsmouth. Basically, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about the story if that's okay. Give people a bit of an insight of what was going on. So we had never investigated this this location before, but we know it's a very popular location. Now, we didn't know the background to it. And when we uncovered it, it was quite, I think all of us took a step back and quite shocked about the story. So basically, me and Sean started the investigation up in the top room. It was called the captain's room, I believe. And we set up the cat balls, and we always do, like, we introduce ourselves, you know, so the spirits know who we are and what we're there for. We make it very clear to, you know, we're not here to harm you. We just want to talk to you. Anyway, so we went around introducing ourselves, and we said, light up the cat ball if you want to speak to this specific person. So we always go around the whole people just to see what happens. So Sean said his name. On command, it went off. And then you hear, I don't know if you remember, Jen, but then you hear Sean say, can you stop now? And then the cat ball stops. What? You're on mute, Jen.
Sorry, I was blowing my nose there. I'm sorry, I always do it. I said, do you want me to put the video up?
If you can get the video, that'd be great.
I can get it in 2 seconds.
You know, what you would see, guys, is that we try and build up, you know, we try and have a laugh with everyone at the same time, you know, because we don't want it to be, we build good energy. But yeah, what you see is that Sean tells it to stop, it stops. And the funny thing is, if the cat ball is just going off because it's broken, it would go off every time. It will repeatedly go. Now, we went to ourselves. I said my name. It went off. And then we went on to 2 other guests, and nothing happened with them, right? And then the funny thing is, I think it was when we got to Spencer, the light behind it went off. And then we asked another question, and then the light in front went off as well. You know, but the story of it, we were directed outside quite a bit throughout the night. So we went outside, and I was trying to figure out why, because one of the ladies come out with a name. I can't remember the girl's name. Helen. I think it was Helen that come out the name. Anyway, so just before Jen, so what we uncovered was a girl of 15 years old, just on the right-hand side of this location, there's a little wooded area. She actually went to meet someone and was murdered in the wooded area there, and it was a very highly televised case that went ahead, and she was found. And we managed to go outside, and we had people doing dowsing rods. And again, a lot of people have different views on dowsing rods, but when you're getting 3 people on 3 different dowsing rods, you know, getting the same replies, you know, it's very hard to debunk that, you know, because you're getting the same answer from each of those people. You know, and it was just amazing. But the cat balls, as you said, you know, I don't know if you can get the video up, Jen.
For now, yeah, I'm going through Lou's messages because I know it wasn't too far up. But I am going to.
It was a great response, and it just shows how intelligent the spirits can be.
Yeah,
you know, we've had. I think another one that we did was at Manor Farm in the old church.
Yeah,
You got it.
And Wimmera Manor upstairs. He loves the K2 and he loves the REM pod as well. He goes from backwards and forwards to and giving good responses. The spirit on there.
Yeah, so like Eric said, he's got cat balls going off.
Is this from? Hold on. Is this from March the 11th?
Yeah. Oh, let me just have a look.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Double check.
Yeah, I think it was the 11th of March. Yeah.
Merchant Hall.
Merchiston Hall.
Merchiston Hall.
Yeah,
it was last Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just share this out here now. Let me just share it. I always keep saying I'm new at doing this whole sharing thing.
Expert now.
Oh, I don't know. God knows what will come up in my bloody face. Oh no, let's get rid of 1 or 2 things. Hold on.
So just while you're doing that, Jen, I'll just read some of the comments. So
yeah, go for it.
Going back to when we were talking about the table tipping, Marty says, I had a similar thing with a Victorian bed, big wooden thing, couldn't move it. Woman that owned it in the location hated men. I think most women hate men, don't they, really? I lie on it and the whole bed moved with me on it. Still no idea to this day how that happened.
I find that sometimes. Yeah, when I'm in bed sometimes, I feel like the bed's vibrating and moving.
Really?
Yeah.
Just let me just kind of get this right before. Sorry, just let me get this right.
No, that's all right. That's all right, Jen.
Oh, you know what? You felt the bed vibrating, Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I do.
Yeah, please don't, Sarah. That's...
Might be you farting, Nand. No, but it does feel like a vibrate. It's happened before. It happened in 30 East Drive. The bed was vibrating.
Yeah.
Look at Nand. Nando's not too sure. Yeah, I'm going to play it now. Yeah, I just had a pause there. I'm going to play it now. Okay.
Can we make the screen bigger?
I'll try in a second to see if I should be able to make it bigger. Yeah. No, did that work?
No.
No. Give me one. No, I don't think I can. Oh no, I can. Hold on, sorry.
There we go. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Jeez, Jennifer's learning. Let me just press play.
I think you need to put the volume on.
I had it on mute.
My name's Nando.
Wow, I know you.
Thank you. Okay, stop.
My name's Jay.
No, I don't like you.
No, not many people do.
Well, I love you, so shut your face.
It's a bit backhanded.
Hello, I'm Charlie. Hello, I'm Michelle.
Come on, make these people welcome.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
And that's a different ball as well.
Good.
There we go.
Well, my name's Leslie.
Okay, stop. Stop the ball.
Jonas. Did you say? Well, I said, no, my name's Leslie. Can you just light up the other ball for us, please?
My name's Spencer.
Oh, I like you, Spence.
So you sort of see.
I can look at this photo and I can say, whoa. It put tears.
Oh, so you can sort of see from that you know, 2 different cat balls went off. You get it on command on certain names. I just thought it was a great piece of evidence, you know, from that. Jen, you're on mute, darling.
Yeah, can you mute me?
Jen, you're on mute.
Sorry, I meant to say. So I always put it on mute because when we do that, Sharon, you can still hear us talking. But when you had mentioned that the other ball had gone off and then it turned off, and you said, "Can you set the?" Someone said, "Can you set the other one off, the middle one off?" And it did. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it's, you know, everyone's got different theories to, you know, and everyone's got their favorite piece of equipment. You know, I'm starting to become, I love using the cat balls because they're very hard to, you know, you got to touch, you can touch it, but you got to be right next to it and really like put a bit of force on it to set it off. It's not something that will just
Stomped our feet round them as well, haven't we, to see if we can set them off that way and vibration. But
oh yeah,
yeah.
Lou about them on Emerald Isle because she's like, you know, Jenny, I'm waiting for these, because I sent her the video and she said, I'm waiting for these to go off. I'm waiting for them to go off. And they haven't gone off for us once yet, apart from when we trip over them, which is why now I bring glow sticks that we break so we can put them beside each glow ball so we don't walk and kill ourselves, you know, on them. But they haven't gone off for us like that. If they did, great. The sense of light has done. I'm very an annoying person when it comes to evidence, video, camera, audio.
yeah.
That's what I want all the time. And I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to say it on the live. I'll say it afterwards. I almost said it there, but I'm not going to because myself and someone else agreed not to say it.
I think that's what's so important. Whenever we do something like that, I'm always out with a camera. Me and Luke, you'll always find us. Everyone loves the flashy. You know, we always try and record everything so we can show people, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes spirits don't even know what a cat ball is, do they? We always tell them and we demonstrate them. And we say, look, if you touch it, it'll make...
But it's just such a simple piece of equipment. It's not even used. It's not even designed, really, for paranormal investigation. It's a cat ball for cats to play with. And you know, but it's just, it really don't. And like I said, I love these. You know, the fact that I got one ball going off in front of me and then one behind, you know, it just shows it can work.
You can use them glow in the dark balls as well. You light them up with your torch and then you leave them. And you get the spirit to roll them, can't you?
Well, yes, and I think I know those. I know I'm going to get some pieces sent over to me from America, something like that as well. And I think with the cat balls as well, you have to touch them for them to go off.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you have to vibrate beside them for them to go off.
Yeah, it's like we would jump. We always try and debunk our own stuff as well. You know, we don't just put everything up there saying this is paranormal, this is paranormal, because we know that sometimes there's an explanation. But we were jumping up and down in this room, and they were not going off. And I'm quite a big guy. So you know, if you have ghost cats like I do, they don't care what they are.
If the batteries, sorry, Nan, if the batteries are running out, they do go off quite often, but you can just swap the balls around and then put a fresh one there.
But these were brand new. These were Sean's ones were brand new out of the pack.
Right.
You know, so these hadn't been lying around or anything. But yeah, it just shows that how spirits can communicate. I know that was going to be the last subject, but there was one subject that you wanted to bring up, Jen. And I want to touch on it. You know,
we have I literally thought about it 2 seconds ago before you even spoke.
Jen's been bringing this one up quite a bit, and she really wants to get it out there. So you can take the floor with this one, Jen.
Which one was it?
Oh my God! I thought she's there like we're reading our minds, so like she knows what I'm talking about. Is it sleep paralysis that you were talking about, and astral projection and all that? I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to listen to, because I know Sarah's got her theories with this as well. So
I don't know a lot about sleep paralysis. I have heard about it, and I've heard how frightening it can be. I know my 12-year-old daughter said to me, you know, when I spoke about it to someone, I think it was you, Nando, or Sarah, and I spoke about sleep paralysis and what it was and so on. And my daughter said to me, Mom, I had that too. And I'm like, excuse me, you had what? And she goes, I had that when I woke up and I couldn't move. Mama Bear came out, and I'm going to punch fist in air. I'm going to, listen, I don't give a if you're alive or not. We are not doing this. You know, you have got Mama Bears going on here. And people say, oh, be fearful, be fearful. You take your rosy bees, not me. Whoever's in my house that sleep paralysis with my child, and you take them and you pray that I don't come fucking looking for you, that you gave my daughter sleep paralysis, that, you know, she said I can move, but I couldn't move, but I was awake. And I said, were you dreaming? Did you try to move? Did you hear anything? Did you see anything? Yada, yada, yada. And she said she could hear stuff, but she couldn't move. And I said, proper stuff, not in your dreams, proper stuff. And she goes, yes. So you just don't know enough about it. And like I said it before to someone, and they said, Jenny, you know, you can't say fuck to this. Did you ever tell an Irish mother never to say to someone who's annoying your children? Are you doing that? No, one not. And I don't give a two donkeys, rat's arse who is in my house that would do. It could be, like I said, there's not enough known about it. Is it medical? Is it someone sitting on you that you cannot move? We don't know enough about it yet. But I will say, be afraid, not of the undead, be afraid of the living. As we always say, that if there's anything like that, and I've noticed sometimes my dogs will be acting strange. I have 4 dogs, 2 large breeds that would always sleep in my room. And they began to sleep in the hallway. And the large one began to sleep in my daughter's room. My 2 children stay in the same room. And we're like, is it too hot in my room? Because he's a heavy coat dog. Why is he in the girls' room? Why would he be in the girls' room? And I mentally take a note by saying, in my mind, I'm saying, thanks, Riley. Because I think maybe it's just Riley being too hot and a heavy coated dog. Maybe it was something else. But a lot of things have happened in the house. Too many things have happened in the house. Not too many, but things have happened. Where my eldest daughter, when I was kind of changing my room or painting my room, and it was nighttime, my room is just above me here. I'm facing to the back of my house. And she's seeing a ball, like she says, this size, if that can make sense, this size. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Going across the wall. I'm like, was it a fly? Was it a butterfly? You know, was it a blue bottle? What did it look like? And she goes, a black circle. I said, was it a black circle? Oh, and she's adamant. And I know, when you know your children, if they're lying or not, and you kind of get into their brain a million times, say last year, the year before, this year, what did you see? And she said, Mom, I seen a black circle going across your wall towards the wardrobe. And I said, that's fine. That's okay. That's fine. My daughter was walking downstairs, my youngest one, and her she fell on the step. And I'm thinking, did you stand in your nightgown? Did you stand in your night dress? She's wearing her dad's, Liverpool t-shirt, and had fallen on the step. And I'm kind of like, and she said, no, I felt it like from the middle of my back, like I pulled from my back. And I'm like, okay, so we're not dismissing it, but we're not saying it's something else. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm wearing green. Let's do it. Where are you? Where are you? But I also say as well, in a nice way, as I'm told to say it, instead of being the Jenny way and saying it the Jenny way, I also say, please, don't annoy my children. Don't annoy this. Don't annoy that. Instead of saying what I really want to say, the Irish language it's English, but it's basically really Irish in Jenny's words, that bleep, bleep, are you doing bleep? I'll bleep and bleep. So anyhow, you can't say that apparently. Well, I always say if they're bad in life and they're bad in afterlife, if they say bleep beforehand, they're going to understand the bleep afterwards. So we're not going to play this, you've passed away, let's not say. bad words. And I don't get all of that, you know, don't say this and don't say that, and each to their own. But anyhow, so nothing has happened since then. Now, you know, Nando, when we did a call out in my house, myself, yourself, and Brian, a few weeks ago. Yeah. I know. We had Sarah, you were there, but you weren't present.
I wasn't. I was out of it.
I think Sarah had a bit too much of the vino, and she completely
vino, I think, and I
out, didn't she? And we had some amazing responses. And the thing is, we actually picked up a male voice, you know, because I said to Jen, you know, wouldn't it be great if me being in the UK, Jen is in Ireland, and Brian is in Canada? And I was like, Jen, wouldn't it be great if one of us can actually get a response from this spirit this male presence in your house? And you know what's funny? Me and Brian both asked questions, and then when we played the EVP back, it responded. You know, it was, and I'm not being that, you know, me and Jen have been on the call from 9 o'clock in the evening to about 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, a little bit of alcohol involved. You know, we were a bit, but something definitely come through.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, because when I did the podcast, the first podcast with Kent Brewis from the Ghost of Carmel, Maine, at the end he says, I'll do a spirit session with you, and he put the ghost box on in his house, and he was saying, is anyone there? Do you want to talk to Sarah? And it went, hello, Sarah. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I was really amazed.
We played that back, didn't we?
Yeah,
we played it back, and it clear as day, it said, you know, love, Spirit from Manchester United didn't like the t-shirt.
Oh, was it the Liverpool one? Was it?
Brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, just going back to the sleep paralysis, you were saying about your daughter, Jen, right? Let's read Eric's comment first. So sleep paralysis.
Sorry, Eric. Go ahead, Nando.
Sleep paralysis is a temporary inability to move or speak that occurs when a person is waking up from a sleep or fallen asleep. During the sleep paralysis, the person is aware of their surroundings but unable to move their body or speak. It can be a frightening experience because the person may also experience hallucinations or a sense of pressure on their chest. Sleep paralysis occurs when the body is transitioning between sleep stages and the brain in a state of confusion, normally during RE.
Rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement. That's it. Yeah, rapid eye movement. Yeah.
Because I was going to say, you were saying about your daughter. Am I right? I'm pretty sure it was Reese. Do you remember when Reese? So we did, and I got back. This was after Sarah started doing the investigation, and I'm pretty sure when we were talking about the tugging of the feet, Reese come down once, and he said he looked really pale. He looked like washed out. And he was like, he could hear something and something was punching him. Do you remember? Do you want to just tell them?
I heard it too. It was like two voices speaking and whispering in a weird kind of language. And Reese said, I told you, Mum, I told you I was hearing the same thing. And he would wake up where something was punching him in the stomach at night. He said he was getting punched in the stomach. You sure you haven't got a bellyache, Reese? And I actually, you know, I put a crucifix in his room and said, whatever it is you need. And since I did that, I don't know if it brought comfort to him or something. Yeah. It just stopped happening. But he was up and down all the time, and he swears blind he was getting punched in the stomach, and that he could hear this whispering in another language.
And you know, to this day, if you would ask him his story, do you know when children sometimes tell you a story, it's sort of changing. This is our telltale sign with the kids. If they're lying, the story sort of changes. But with Reese, whenever you bring it up with him, his story is exactly the same. Where he felt the punch is exactly the same, and everything about it. And the fact that he was hearing voices like Sarah was
stuff as well. I mean,
you know, it was. But I think because we're getting into that field, and we may have relayed it onto Reese without Reese being aware, because he's so innocent at the time, because he was quite young at the time.
He was, yeah.
Maybe he opened himself up without realizing, and that's how.
Oh, you know when? Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah. Go on.
In Southampton, there's a woman that looks over the bridge. Do you know where Burger King is? And he was about 8, and he come back and he was in town with his dad, and he said, Mum, I saw this shadow person just walk straight through the wall. And he was adamant to, even to this day, he says he saw it.
Do you think he's open?
Oh,
to
yeah.
it?
But he's frightened of it, so he won't even go there. He doesn't even like talking about it.
You know, my thing is with kids, because they're so innocent, they're open to anything. I think society and the way we bring them up, you know, in certain way, is like we always tell our kids, this ain't real. This ain't real. Not because we don't think it's not real. We just don't want them to have that. I don't think my kids are old enough. And the same with me. I don't think they're old enough to deal with what can be out there. I know some people might have different feelings to it. It's like we discussed, you know, how would people feel about if we was to open up an event, but a very basic event for younger children that are into the parent. Me personally, as a father, I would say a no to that, because
Rocco's frightened of it, absolutely terrified. He doesn't like it, so we just try to keep it completely separate from the children. Yeah, it doesn't like it at all.
We don't get into the nitty gritty when we're talking like in the daytime and the kids are around. Like my kids are kind of used to the crazy mum, but we don't talk about the nitty gritty when your boys are around.
No,
you know, I've learned that now. Like we don't talk about the nitty gritty. What age would you reckon that younger people should start off in the paranormal? There's a lot of people who have different opinions, and a lot of people who have their they would take children with them on locations. I've taken my girls to the museum, not for an investigation, ever, but when I've had to do work in the museum, I'd taken Jessica over at one time. Elsa was with her dad, and Jessica was sitting in one of the rooms that I like. It's my favorite room upstairs. And I looked at my Alan and I said, you know, God, the innocence, little does she know about that room. And I said nothing. I never said anything to her. She was on her tablet and so on. So anyway, we were leaving that upstairs. As Jessica walked out and she said, looked at me and she was like, and I'm like, did you? And she goes, Mommy, I heard a woman. And I'm like, high five. Welcome to the paranormal. You heard your first MVP, because she heard a woman saying something and I heard it too. And I was so happy that she heard it. So freaking happy that she heard it. Now, she's had more experiences, which I'm glad she's not here now. But, yeah, she, you know, what age? So, sorry, I was getting sidetracked.
No, that's fine. You know, I agree. If something naturally, you know, happens, I'm willing to, you know, I would be willing to sort of, I don't know about you, Sarah, because, you know, we parent in very similar ways in some, and I think with this, we're very similar. We don't talk about it a lot around the kids. It's like when we talk, Jen, we would wait until my kids are settled and they're in bed before we talk about, you know, the real.
What we have to talk about,
but
that's what we do. And
ages, I think personally, is how mature is your child? How
depends on the temperament of the child.
I think every child is different. Now, I do feel that anything below the age of 15, I wouldn't necessarily take any of my kids to do an investigation, not even a basic info.
But it depends on the temperament, and especially if the child is sensitive and wants to try and conquer its fears over that, then if you're
a friend of mine who does that, she's a friend of mine, and she has children under 15, and she does teenage paranormal. And I've watched the lives, and I've watched the shows. And she knows, because I've spoken to her about it, and I have spoken to her about it, and I said I was unimpressed with it. I was very annoyed, and this is your thing, but she's a different woman. And so each to their own. I was just upset to what I saw, and I thought, shit, if my child have been through that moment, the Estes method.
Yeah.
And a 13-year-old doing it. And I know maybe she's watching, or maybe she's not, or maybe she'll see this at some point. But I'm not saying names, but she knows I've already spoken to her about it. Like a 13 or 14-year-old doing Estes method, and was very upset after it. And I had voicemailed her saying, no, absolutely not. But like,
and I just sorry to interrupt, Jen. I just want to be clear to everyone, right? We're not saying there's no right or wrong answer to this. We're not saying if you're letting your children do it, we're not saying that you are wrong with it. I think us as parents, we all have our different beliefs, being parents ourselves, I just think, for me personally, my son is 12 and he's unsure of the paranormal. And do you know what? You can teach, I think you can teach him elements of the paranormal, of what's, one thing I do install with my boys is if they come down and then we're watching certain programs.
Give me 1 minute, I'll be back. Give me 1 minute, I'll be back.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. If we're watching certain programs, we always tell them that, a lot of it's fake, especially with TV stuff these days, and I think that's what's important, to make them realize that not everything is real with the way TVs portray certain things. Would you agree?
There's nothing more terrifying than a frightened child, and some of this stuff that we have to deal with, it could fuck a child up mentally. I mean, yeah, it could. And look at Rocco with Teen Wolf. He wouldn't sleep for weeks and weeks and weeks, would he? And that's just Teen Wolf on TV. And it does depend on the temperament of the child, definitely. If your kid's all right with that kind of thing, you as a parent, I think what boundaries the child has got. So, yeah, I think it's down to the parent on how they feel, and especially if the child is sensitive and they want to learn how to control that or not be afraid of it, then they're going to have to delve into it, because it's always going to be there in them to learn how to deal with it.
Pamela, just read Pamela's comment. So I think it's important that children have some sort of faith background, Christian or otherwise, to support them before they are seriously introduced into the paranormal. It shouldn't be the first time that they are dealing with the question of afterlife. And I agree with that, Pamela. Dealing with faith, I was raised as a Catholic and we went to church. I went to, I think what they would have called Sunday school at the time, where we did a little lesson about the Bible. And I agree with, letting them understand about religion. What I don't necessarily, not saying I don't, for me as a parent, that, I agree with the religion, letting, Pamela was just saying, Jen, just that, we were talking about the children, and Pamela's saying, I think it's important that children have some sort of faith background, Christian or otherwise, to support them before they are seriously introduced to the paranormal. Absolutely. It shouldn't be the first time they are dealing with the question of the afterlife. And I agree with that. But what I was going to say, what I'm saying is letting children dabble in the paranormal. That's, I think there's a way of teaching our children about, because our kids understand. We've had family members that have passed on, like my auntie, and the boys were very close to her. And we've explained to them about the afterlife. She's still here. She was comfortable with that. But what I'm saying is actually getting kids to do investigations. That is a step, for me, is not where kids should be going into.
Well, I'd be the same. I have taken my daughters into the location, but not through an investigation. Mary, when my brother died 15 years ago, my daughter was only 6 years old. Day later, after the funeral, she told me she saw my brother at the funeral watching us. She said he spoke to her and told her he would keep an eye on Granny. She's 22 years old now, and occasionally she still sees people walking through her room. She's not afraid of it.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm kind of a little bit jealous, because she had it from a younger and she still has it. You either have it or you don't. And I know Mary has it. So you either have it or you don't, or you have it and you lose it. And with Mary's daughter, she had it and she still has it.
Yeah.
I wish I had that, but I don't. Good night, Marty. Good night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. We'll catch up later.
Like I said, the way I think, is if it happens naturally, like your daughter Mary, I think that's fine. I think it's fair, because it's something that has, it's naturally happens.
It's like that Maddie that she's interested in the paranormal, that we did a podcast with. She's naturally interested in it, but she's learning the right way, and she's got the support from her parents, and she's not frightened from it. And I think that is totally fine, because she is learning how to do it properly with respect and everything. So and the temperament, she's not frightened. She even openly admits I'm not scared of this going there. I think she was doing it from the age of 11, wasn't she, Nand? Maddie, I'm talking about
the age of 11.
Yeah, 11. You have it. And I was going to say about two young American girls, and I forget their names, and if I'm not gonna say the names, even if I do know them. It's it's luckily that I don't remember them. But they were. Oh gosh, I've watched a few shows with them on it, and I have to say they were bored as
Punch. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Punch. They were being interviewed and they were like, yeah, no, and they were like playing with the box and whatever. And yes, I've seen this, but you just think that you're talking about from a movie that you've seen. It was kind of like, the mother was the manager. And I'm thinking, I'd like to frickin' interview the mother by herself and say, what's the crack here? Like, let's be real about it. Because these kids were booked onto every show that I knew of. And like someone said to me, Jenny, have them on your show, have them on your show. One, I don't work with bloody children. Second, no, because they're too young and my questions would not be okay with it. I know Chip Coffey, he did a live with children. Chip Coffey did it a show like that with children. But these were just like podcast children that were being taken into investigations. And I just thought it was stupid. The mother was a bit of frickin' arsehole, and I'm going to hold my words here. She was an arsehole. And if she had spoken to me and the way she spoke to other people, she'd be praying for Jesus if she spoke to me like that, because by God, I'd have the leprechauns on her arse. And she'd be afraid because she's American. She'd probably believe it. Not getting to every American that's watching. I'm just saying I'd have an American on her arse. Oh, a leprechaun on her arse. But this mum was just having her children out there, and her kids are not even heard of now, because the truth came out that it was the mum, it was the parents that was showcasing these children to say my kids are gifted. And I'm like, I just can't cope with these people half the time. I just can't do it with them. They irritate the crap out of me. And people can be be nice and friendly and whatever. I would just say exactly what I thought. I think you're a freaking arsehole for doing it with their kids. One was about 8, 9. The other one was about 11 or 12.
I just think that's too young, but that's my opinion with it. What do you think, Sarah?
Depends. Were they movie influenced, or were they gifted, as in gifted with the psyche?
They said they were gifted psyche kind of thing, but no movie, no nothing like that. Podcast, investigation podcast. It was getting their name out there to make them more popular. If anything, for me, I just thought I'd love to do a show with you because I would strip you down. I'd strip you down. And somebody told me to put these kids on my show, and I said no. Like I said, 1, I don't do kids. 2, I don't do kids in paranormal. I said,
what you influence?
I'm not bad, but
it's what you influence your children. It's like, let's look at the kids that were influenced. Jamie Bolger kids. They were influenced by all the Chucky films and the horror films that were ploughed into them. It could be very similar to what you plough into a child in the paranormal. If you let them deal with that shit, they're not going to investigate properly. They're not going to learn properly, are they?
No,
they're watching shit movies and things like that, or not learning properly.
I'm going to say not every American. Some Americans that pay like the big dollars to come over to Ireland, and they, you give them a net and they're going to go hunting leprechauns, and you can take one home if you find it. What are people I'm talking about? Not you, Eric, not you, but the ones who do come over and pay the big bucks, and you give them a net, like a fishing net. Say if you find one. I actually watched a YouTube of Good Morning Britain. Jeez, that shows my age. That's really old, isn't it? It was a Morning British show, and there was Irish. I was only in the last few days. I don't know when it was anyway. But this Irish guy come on, he had a bag with him. You can see the bag moving. And what's your one's name? I forget her name. She used to be in Big Brother. Allison.
Oh yeah.
She's just a gem. Love her. But she was so funny. But and her sidekick on the show, he's Irish. He used to do yes.
Brian? Is it Brian?
Not Brian. Oh God, am I going through my brain?
To one that's he does a haunted thing.
He did the X Factor.
Ryan Clark.
I like him.
No, Dermot O'Leary.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, okay, the presenter, yeah.
So he was like, they were all taking a crack at this guy, and this guy was very funny. I must get the not the YouTube, I must get the TikTok and send it on to you. But anyhow, so he was saying like, we make the most of the money from the Americans because they come and they get a net, and if they catch one, they can take it home with them. And I'm like, oh my God! And none of them catch any, but they still made $4,000 that day. Keep on coming because they're really real. They're real, you know.
They are real, aren't they?
Leprechauns? Yes, they are real.
They are.
Brilliant. Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Thanks for joining right at the end, my friend. You know, I think we.
Sorry, no, me and you are doing the clicking here, so sorry. You just.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure we acknowledge everyone's comment. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll do that one. You know, I think we've covered a lot this evening. You know, we've gone into a lot of stuff this evening. Started off with
one more thing.
Oh, okay.
The dark side of the paranormal is the banshees. That's the last one. Banshees. Are they
the
real?
banshee? Is that the screaming? Is that?
Yes, she cries and she wails. She cries.
She's lost her love.
I don't, Mary, if you're still here, help me out. Help an Irish lady out here now, because I know the banshee.
Give me 1 second. Let me just.
You're gonna
let me see if I can pull anything up.
Oh, Eric, I'm sorry. I don't mean every American. I just mean the one with the fishing nest that make $4,000 for the poor Irish man that, you know, the Americans are looking for the leprechauns. But if you rub your fingers enough and you click the reading enough, they'll come around.
Just to read, because I don't know too much about this. So a banshee,
yes.
Woman of the fairy mode,
yes,
or fairy woman, is a female spirit in Irish folklore who heralds the death of a family member, usually by screaming, wailing, shrieking, or keening. What's keening? Her name is connected to the
Irish
mythological important. I can't say it.
Let me read it up. Send it on to me and I'll read it. Is it Irish?
No, it's not. Well, it might be Irish, because that's why I can't read it. And there's a picture of her as well.
A banshee is said to be a fairy in the Irish legend, and her scream is believed to be an omen of death. The scream is also Jesus, I can't means keening. Keening is a warning that there is an imminent death in the family, as the Irish families blended over time. It is said that each family has its own banshee. And what sometimes we were told when we were younger is, if your surname is Irish, like O'Flanagan, or God, I can't even. Jeez, my mind's going blank. Like, my name is Sullivan, and people say, "Oh, Jenny O'Sullivan," and I'm like, keep the O out, because that's Irish. My name is just Jenny Sullivan. Here's Mary. I'm so glad Mary's here. Here she is.
She followed certain families.
From back in time. Sorry, Nando.
I'm going to click it. She will wail loudly when there is an intimate death about to happen. And wow, do you know what? If that's the case, she can stay well away.
There's also a knock. You can get a knock on the window, on the door, if somebody's going to die in the family.
Yes, you get a crow at your windowsill as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do you ever get? Sorry, Nando. Go ahead. I'm going to write down what I have to say, because I don't forget.
No. Say it.
Do you ever get like your doorbell is ringing and the dogs are barking, and you jump out of your bed to go to the window, and you hear your gates are metal and they have to close it, but within 2 seconds, 3, 4, 5 seconds, you're out of bed because you think it's the postman, whatever, and you go to your window and there's nobody at your gate. Nobody has entered your no one is at your house during the doorbell. I got that for many years. And sorry, Sarah, and I woke up with the doorbell ringing. It's not like the doorbell, I was awake and the doorbell rang. I've woken up with the doorbell ringing and my dogs are going, at the door. Yes, the 3 knocks of death. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Jenny, if there's a load of kids with black eyes at the door, don't let the fuckers in.
I knew she was going to go. Do you know what? The minute she did that, the minute you said about the door knocking, because I'll tell you what, we heard the window go one night. I tell you what, Jen, we heard the window, like we were upstairs in bed. The two boys were in bed, right?
1 o'clock in the
Everyone
morning.
was in bed asleep, and we heard the biggest thump on the downstairs window. And me being me, because I've got the kids and Sarah, I think, do you know what? I need to protect them. I run downstairs, get the key, and I run out the front door, right? Thinking, do you know what? I'm doing the right thing. Anyway, so I come back in, and instead of saying, do you know what? You're a hero, I get Sarah going, are you bloody stupid? What do you think you're doing? And I was like, what? Well, what about if there was kids out there with black eyes and you've just let them into the house? And I'm like, what are you going on about?
I'm with Sarah on this. I'm sorry, I'm with Sarah on this.
Hey, Tony, hope you're well.
That woman had not opened the door, then certain people would still be alive today. You know what I'm talking about, Nando.
Okay,
Or what
can
about
someone
the
just
joggies up the
enlighten
road?
me?
The joggies up the road that burned the bloody house down. How do you know
about
about them?
children with black eyes then? What is the story with
Do you
children
know
with
this?
black eyes?
Okay, go on, you say it, Sarah.
No, you go first.
No, me first. No, you go. You know more, Sarah, than I would. I'm just saying.
You go first. You go first.
I'm just saying, like the last time we were on the show with Bolton Bonkers, and they were saying, you know, Chris said, if you're driving down a road, right, and you come across two young children on the dirt part, would you pick them up? And I'm like, that I would. And I did. I really did. And I'm like, and I wouldn't feel guilty. No. If you come to my door looking for stickers, nope. I am the female version of Victor Meldrew.
What is the
puppy, I'll take the puppy, but that's it. Sorry. So that's all I was saying.
What is the story, Jen? So if you give your opinion first, Jen, what is your thoughts on the children with black eyes?
My thoughts on children with black eyes are they are a trigger for us, for the humans. We have triggers for the spirits, they have triggers for us, and I think children are it. And so you have the children say, Mommy, well, no, we have heard a newborn baby cry in the museum only twice in the last 2 years. Let me tell you, I have the audio here. I'd love to. Can I play it for you? Can I find it and play it for you?
Yeah.
It's we are beginning to hear dogs barking. Oh, that's unexplained. I can see you now. You've joined Facebook. I've seen it and I love it. Like unexplained. And I was going to say this: black-eyed kids have to be invited in. They just can't come through the door. What did I say last week? Do not invite even the vampires, like in Lost Boys. You know, well, come in. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
invited him in. I totally get that. Now let me just see one thing here with Mary. There are photos of child spirits in Loftus Hall with black eyes. Mary, would you do that? And I can put it up on the page if that's all right. This is Loftus Hall. It's in Wexford. Absolutely. I've never been to it. Unfortunately, it's now closed down for the time being. But I've never been to it. So Mary, if you can send it on to me, and if I can put it up on the page, is that all right? And I'll get that up.
Well, Jen's doing that. What about you, Sarah? What are your thoughts? Because I know you've had some thoughts on it. And look at you, you're like a child in a candy store with this one.
I can't wait to get going.
No, okay.
The children with the black eyes are the most terrifying things that can, because like you said, they prey on your vulnerability. You know, oh, it's a child. But I tell you what, if I saw a load of kids with black eyes on the road, like Becca me, I would mow the fuckers over without a heartbeat. I'd be like, vroom. So most of the stories I've heard is that they're in America, especially like the outback Americans. And there's theories that, number one, they could be aliens, but then there's theories that they are supernatural because you have to invite them in. But I heard a story about this guy that was in a car park, and there was these scruffy dressed, like Victorian kind of dressed kids. They all had these like out black eyes, and they sort of had a power over him that he was slowly winding down his window, and they were like, can you help me? Can I get in your car? And he said that inside of him, he felt like emotionally he would have let them in, but his wife that was sat next to him was like, go, Chloe, wake up, just get out of here, go, do not let them kids in, because she'd heard the stories about the children with black eyes. And the thought of it is horrific, because once you let them in, that's it. You have.
So what are they supposed to do when you let them in then?
I think they meant you'd be deaded.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm never opening the front door when it gets dark. I will never. I'm locking it after
you. You go out there now, and that's it. I'm bolting. I'm locking that door. You are not coming back Apparently, they're very persuasive, though. Very persuasive.
Jeez. Jen, you're on mute again, darling.
Sorry, I do that when I'm doing stuff. This is for Sarah.
Oh, wow. Ow.
Oh, they're horrible. Oh,
Sarah,
the children in the corn shit.
Do you know the worst thing? Look, it's Jen's school photo. Look, Jen's the one in the front set.
What's that mockingbird nest thing that we saw? They look like those kids. What was it called that was on TV?
Like,
The cuckoo nest.
Based on the book, wasn't it?
Oh,
Sarah,
Chloe's
we're
pitbull.
hungry.
Oh no. Oh, that is the most scariest thing I've seen all week. That's worse than seeing the ghost, seeing them.
Okay,
things.
Sarah, hold on for a second.
Oh,
Hold on for a second. I'm going to do something. Hold on.
I have nightmares about this shit. You know that. You're not coming in, you little bookers.
Listen, Sarah.
Sarah, we're hungry. Can you feed us?
I'm in the car and I'm mowing you all down.
Oh, we're cold. We need
No.
some blanket.
Hell no.
That's a horrible photo. That's an awful photo.
That is awful. Look at them.
Was my voice echoey?
Look at them all.
No, it's normal. It's normal.
No, was my voice echoey at the time, or was it normal?
Yeah, it was horrible. Oh.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I have pictures here now from Mary. I'm going to put them up now in one quickly do.
Thank you, Mary. One picture is the doorway. So what Mary's just said is one picture is the doorway, and the other picture is a close-up of the doorway, and you can see the child.
Okay, I'm going to get those pictures now in 1 second. I'm working on it here in the background.
Tech support.
Sarah,
Jen, tech
I tell you what,
Hello,
though,
and Jen,
Sarah's
tech
not going to
support.
sleep tonight. Sarah ain't sleeping tonight. Jen, send her that picture. We can set it as her background.
No.
Chris said, Sarah, why is your eyes black?
I've been told they're almost black.
She's evil. That's why.
Say that.
She's evil.
That's awful. My eyes are black in the morning time, and I rub my mascara off my face, and I have no sleep, but I won't be getting sleep in the next few weeks. This one here now is not good. I'm looking at these pictures.
This is real, right? This is real, a real story.
Yeah, this Mary's just sent them in.
Yeah,
Gonna
this
mess
is
me up.
Mary Nolan is from Back in Time Paranormal, and oh, sugar, what's going on with that one there now? Oh, hold on, let me just fix this. Oh, don't do that.
That's one thing that horrifies me. One thing I can't handle: children with black eyes.
Well, okay, so that's safe, thank God. So no, Mary runs Back in Time Paranormal, and she is one of the hosts and founders of the Day of the Unexplained that we had in Wexford about 5 weeks ago, I think, with an awesome weekend. So and Mary came to me one night in Leap Castle, and we had a great night in Leap Castle. So I have the pictures here now, and this is from Loftus Hall that I've never been to. I've never been to it. My cat is playing on some stuff here. So let me just go and set them up here on the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay, Poppy is okay, lovey. I have a foster pup here, and he's a disability. So when he cries, I have to pick him up. Or I just mute myself and scream for my daughter. I say, Jessica, get off the phone. Okay, baby, your mama's coming. Let me just go get him. Sorry, I have to go pick him up because he's just going to have a moment. It's okay, my love. Oh, sorry. So anyway, so let me put these pictures up. Here's the first one. So you can see here is Loftus. So Mary, do you want to come on for like 5 minutes to talk about these? And I can send you the link. I'll send the link to you anyway. I know you probably don't want to, and it's probably too late for you. But if you want to come on for about 5 minutes to talk about these pictures, that would be really great. So I'm going to take this picture off for Tickety Boo, if Mary can come on. I'm going to send the link to her anyway, just in case. So let me just do this. She's probably going to text me and say, Jenny, for fuck's sake. She probably will. So let me just take that off. Let me go into this. Okay, let me
Top middle window, Chris said. So I think he caught a glimpse of what we're trying to look at.
Okay, let me have a wee look now back at it. Okay, so I'll put it up anyway. So Nando, you can put it up there now. See, you know.
So I think what Chris is referring to is like this bit here. I don't know if people can see my cursor moving.
No, are you talking about go from the middle side, the first floor, second floor, third floor?
Can you enlarge it?
Top middle window, yeah, so I can see. I don't think I can because I didn't. Oh, maybe I can. Okay, give me a second. Hold on, let me just take this off for a tickety boo. See, like I'm saying, like I'm learning this. So let me see if I can share.
You take the picture off, and then Sarah's face is right in the camera. Hello.
No, I don't think I can.
If we put it back up, top middle window. So is that the third floor, Chris? Is that like you got the bottom, the front door, then you got the windows? Is that a second floor, and is it a third floor up? Because it could be just part of the building, but I'm just trying to.
Okay, I'm working on this. Now, give me 1 second because it takes me a little bit now to get used to it. I will get it working in a second. Okay, let me see. They are married. Okay, so let me see now. I might be able to share this now. This dog is now sleeping on my. Okay, we have it here now. Can you see it?
So top.
Is that good enough?
There. Yeah. Let's have a look.
Oh, here's Mary. Here comes Mary now. Hiya, Mary. Hi, girl.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hey, Mary.
Hi.
Good.
Thanks for coming on. So, do you want to just give us a bit of a description with regards to your photos and what was captured?
Yeah. So what that was, I was the tour guide at Loftus Hall, and during the tour, we would be outside at one stage, and people would always take photographs at the front of the building, with the big, spooky house in the background. And what happened this particular day, everyone was taking photographs. And at the end of the tour, they come back to the coffee shop and they usually go through their photographs. So this lady said to me, "Oh, I think I've captured something." And so obviously I took a look at it, zoomed in, and there was this child. Now I have umpteen pictures of children in the house that I've even taken myself. But that one is very interesting because the eyes are just pure black, absolutely black pool. And when you really zoom in, you can actually see the child in the doorway. So that's one of many.
I'll get the next one up. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now you can see.
So you can see
I don't know. I don't think I can make it larger.
No, but I think you can clearly see in the middle of that. Wow. And have you worked out who this may be? Was it someone that lived in the building, or do you know any more about him?
No idea who that child was, but there were multiple children that died in that house because that house was there for an incredible amount of years. And obviously child mortality, there was no medicines. Children died all the time or drowned. There's one particular mother that walks in one room of that house over and back because her child drowned in the bay. So multiple children walked that house. I often heard them laughing and skipping, and you'd be big bunch of keys and you'd have to unlock and lock up this house every night. And not more often than not, I was always on my own, and I would hear them. I would hear them behind me, but they never harmed me. If anything, they were just kind of delighted that somebody else
Someone was there.
To be honest.
But
do you still work on the grounds, or is it completely?
No, they sold the house. A property developer from Belfast has bought the house and is turning it into a private resort and spending millions, actually, which is kind of good because I'd like to see the house being saved because it's not in a great state. But those spirits are still going to be there, so it's going to be very interesting. You know.
So what's he planning on doing with the building?
What was that?
What's he planning on doing with the building?
He's turning it into a resort and into a hotel.
And I've never been to it before, so I'm going to be booking a room. That, I mean, it's going to cost me money, but you know, I don't mind. It'll be worth it. I think it'll be worth. It'll be worth. Mary, would you?
I'm definitely going back. I'm definitely going back.
So, do you want to book in? You know,
I do.
What, with the children with the black eyes?
Yeah, I can handle it. They're not the ones that are
right.
going to kill you, so I'll be all right with that.
Sarah, gin and tonic all the way.
Oh, hurry up.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Brilliant. And you said just quickly before we let you go, I just wanted to see if you knew. You said that there was multiple deaths of the children.
Yes.
You know, was it to a specific family, or was it just over the years where it was occupied by different
over
people?
the years, just over the years, because that house had about a quarter of a mile away. There was a purpose-built village called Herrylock. And all the servants lived there. So the household had about 200 servants that would have covered the land, covered the work sheds, the gas works, the water works, to, you know, servants in every aspect of the house. And a lot of those children, they worked on the land as well. And, you know, there were a lot of deaths. There were an awful lot of deaths in that house. And I just think that house was a collector of spirits, a collector of souls. You know, but that's a whole other story for another day.
Looking forward to going into it.
You know what? It'll be great. It'll be great to get you back on, and Mary, and talk a bit more about the history of this location, if you would. And give us more of an insight of the kind of things that have happened and what else has happened to bring, you know, all that energy into one place. You're saying about, you know, a collector of souls. That's something I would definitely want to, you know, if you would be happy to.
I think that if we stay in that hotel, Jen, after a couple of G&Ts, we should repeat the village Harry Lock over and over again. Harry Lock, is that a real place?
Yeah, gee. But if you don't mind, you know, I know you know Jen. If you two can, maybe we can arrange something for. You know, we could do an evening based on historic buildings and their history.
Evening on Loftus Hall, because it's such an amazing location. Like I said, I've never been to it before. Mary, it's her second home. The way most locations be for most people, this is Mary's second home. So I don't know. I know stories of it, but to get an insight in it, Mary, come back and just be Loftus Hall only night, and
the history of it will be amazing. In the next there and everything.
Lots to tell.
Oh, that'll be so good. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, if you're free.
Yeah, for sure.
The next time,
love to.
We just show every 2 weeks, and so maybe in the next one, come out and tell us about Loftus Hall in Ireland. And I think we'll do a location in every country. Loftus Hall in Ireland, and then the next location we'll do the UK, and then we'll do America, and then we'll do Australia. We'll look up the best places in each country.
If we start off with Mary, that would be, you know, again, we'll reach out to you afterwards, and then maybe we can do a show based on that location, you know, because it sounds like you can tell us a lot, and then we can sort of piece together what it is and things like that. But yeah, I think that would be a great show.
Yeah, definitely.
Loftus Hall and Lep Castle and so on. You know, that's like the great locations in Ireland. The same with the UK, the same with America and Australia and Canada and Mexico as well, which is a great place, and so on. So we can just do highlight of on each show, the highlight of each country. You know,
advertise it. Just advertise it. Get the punters in.
Yeah. You know, after a conversation, but advertise it. Not advertise. I'm saying that, but have a show, but you know, do represent each country, or get someone from each country, paranormal team from each country, in. We're doing a live now. I'm doing a meet and talking.
Getting all inspired, Jenny.
Let's do it. Well, you know, I think that's a perfect way to end the show. We've had so much to talk about, and it looks like we've got a great. Chris just put Harry Lock. Is it what it's called?
Harry Lock.
Harry Lock was the village. Yeah.
What did Eric say? What did Eric say?
Chris just put Harry Light. I think you just want, after a few drinks, it will come out Harry cut. Oh my! We'll get. But yeah, thank you so much, Mary, for jumping on and giving us these pictures.
Thank you, Mary.
I think one of us would definitely reach out to you, and we would definitely do a show. Yeah, that'd be amazing. And if we can talk about, how you got involved in this location and what happened throughout your time there, I think that'd be a great chat. Another show already organised. Jen, my admin lady, please get that booked in. Thank you.
She's tech support as well, by the look of it.
Don't be calling me admin lady. You're using my freaking stream, yeah. Let me just mute you for a second because I can't. No, I'm joking.
Brilliant. But thank you very much for jumping on, Mary. It was good to meet you.
That's all right.
And we'll definitely do a follow-up with you. That's great. Thanks so much.
In the next 2 weeks, Mary, in the next few days, in the next say 2 weeks. Saturday, 2 weeks.
Definitely 2 weeks.
We'll no problem. Yeah.
Brilliant. Take care, Mary, and have a nice evening.
Bye, my love.
Bye.
Night.
That was
brilliant.
awesome.
So I think we've really touched a lot of ground there tonight. Yet again, it's been absolutely great. Again, everyone for their comments. We really appreciate everyone joining in. As we said, this is a totally interactive show.
Nando, did you call me your admin?
Yeah, get it booked in. She's going to tell me off. You watch afterwards. We're going to have words. She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me.
It's stored. I'm joking.
No. But no, we just want to say we really appreciate how everyone's interacted since we started the show. This is the third one that we've done. And I've got to say, we're having real fun with it. It's just, it's a good laugh. We do understand it's serious subjects. People take it very seriously. But we want to bring a lighter side to it, but get as many of you involved. And what we would love to see is more of you interacting on our page, letting us know what content you want us to bring to the table and how we can get you guys involved. It's been great with Bill jumping in tonight, Mary jumping in as well. We really do appreciate. Yeah, that's what this page is about. We want to make it more about what your experience is. We're currently building, so we're bringing the subjects up at the moment, but we want to start getting people to start coming to us and saying, this is what we want to hear. This is what we want to talk about. If you have a subject that you're very passionate about, get in touch and we can feature you on the show and you can, just talk to us about anything really. What do you guys think?
Untold Encounters.
Your Untold Encounters.
Yours. We can sit here, myself, Sarah, and Nando, and talk about paranormal every day, all day. But we do it every day, all day anyway. So we want to have people who wouldn't have been able to talk about anyone about their experiences in the paranormal to let us know, and then we can, you don't have to come on. You can be anonymous. You have the email there. You can be anonymous. You can do a video, but you don't have to be on video call with us. You can hear your voice, but it's like we never, ever, ever, ever judge. We want to hear it because we know we've been through it too. I can see Natalie here. Hi, Natalie.
Hey.
From Haunted Era. Well, just in from me. Oh, you're kidding me. She's in from Massey's Woods. Massey's Woods is just, Macy's. We call it Macy or Massey's. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's just across the road from Hellfire Club in Dublin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How did it go tonight, Natalie? How did it go? I've walked by it because I've been in the Hellfire Club, and let me tell you, that walk up to the Hellfire Club is exactly what it says in the tin. Hellfire, and then you get to the club.
Oh,
the
hell
is walking up that hill. It is awful. But when you do get to the Hellfire Club, it is amazing. I do have a picture of me standing in the Hellfire Club, and two of the team members, like Aidan and another team member, walked out and went down to the far side of the Hellfire. And then there's Aidan like this to the Hellfire Club. And this little bit here is me in the window. And I'm like, take a picture. And then I realized they're so far away from me. I looked around, I'm like, I'm in this place by myself. What am I doing in this place by myself? I almost jumped through the window to get out onto the floor, but obviously I didn't.
So it looks like he's put that had quite a bad experience. So that could be, you know, if you would be willing to come on a show, on our next show, and maybe give a bit of a talk about what's happened, and you know, another thing that we can feature on the show on the next.
Just if we have 5 minutes here now, Natalie, if you want to jump in. Oh, sorry, Nando, I'm just gonna jump on this one. Natalie, if you want to jump in for
that's fine.
She doesn't have to, but Natalie, do you want me to, can I send you the link that you can come in and tell us what happened, or we can do it another time? It's up to you. Let me know. Hold on, my glasses, I can't see anything. Never know my years of
investigating, have I ever had an experience like this? Brought me to my knees, had to be propped up by the the thing moved. Swan Mill wall. All of my energy left me. Wow.
Oh my God. Natalie, have you left that location now? Are you on your way home? That's in I think it's called Macy's field. Yeah, okay, Natalie, definitely. We'll do that again. We had Mary Nolan on just about 10 minutes ago. Definitely, I'll talk to you. We'll get you on the show if you would like to tell us about that. But I do know Massey's Forest, and it's literally across the road from Hellfire Club. And I've been told many times to go to it when I was in the Hellfire Club, and I never did. And the reason why I never did, because it was outdoors. Oh, you're home now. That's good. That's good. Get a whiskey, get an Irish coffee in you, and warm up, girl. Warm bloody up.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've never been there, but I've been told to go there. But I never did go there because it was outdoors, and I would put everything into outdoor noises and sounds and whatever. But I will definitely go to it now, because I know I've been told about it before, but it's more active than the Hellfire is. Oh, she's having a wine o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock. She's got the right idea. 1 o'clock. If we can definitely reach out to Natalie, and then maybe arrange for a time for her to come on and talk about that, because this is what this page is about, is to hear everyone else's experiences, and you know, especially for the people that are not doing this on a frequent basis as well. You know, if you've got any stories about anything,
we are both investigators, and you know, Natalie makes the most original, and I keep saying it, Natalie, please don't let me see your page, because I'm going to order everything and I'm going to have to hide my card. She makes the most original jewelry pieces. Like, you want something, she'll kind of try and do it for you. But she makes the most original pieces from, if there's a piece of metal there from a location that you like, it can be, designed, and if I'm saying it right, Natasha, if I'm saying it right, it can be sculptured, whatever design you want. So yes, I will be ordering, but I will put that up as well. Sorry, I'm waffling in here. I will put Natasha's jewelry page up as well. But yeah, satanic rituals was held there in the Hellfire Club. A lot more sinister than the Hellfire Club. Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
Well then, because when you get me off my guard when I say well then, and I don't say any more after that, because I don't know what I'm trying to say. Seriously, I've never been there, because like I said, it was an open forest. The road is beside it. You will hear cars go up and down, and it will interfere with my recordings and whatever. But then I forget myself sometimes when it's about recordings, that it's about your feelings as well in that place. But I forget myself sometimes by being too anal over recordings. So I have to not do that all the time. So I will go to Macy's Forest. Rituals are done. They are though, but they are, yeah. They really are. Even up in the Hellfire Club, that's still being done. Teams don't go up there as often. Teams do go up there, but mostly in the daytime. If you go up in the evening time, say in winter time, say 4 or 5 o'clock, it gets dark. By say 7 or 8, you've got to leave, because these people come up in black clothing, and you've got to leave. You don't stay there. But that place, I'm going to say, unfortunately, is closing down in the next year or two, I think, because they're making it into a tourist place, a tourist site, I think, if I'm saying it right, girls, if I'm saying it right. But yeah, it's not going to be that much longer for paranormal people to go up to, or just regular people going up to. It's Louise. Absolutely listen to her. Just in it. Oh, hi, Louise.
Hey.
I read that so quickly, like an Irish person, like, you know, in my mind. Hi, Jenny, it's Louise. I'm absolutely lovely to listen to you. Hi, Louise. Shane took photos for the newspaper. There was a satanic activities conducted there.
Around 1999, she said. Brilliant. Well,
yeah,
you know,
they're crazy.
Definitely another subject that we could touch on then with Natalie. You know, but again, you know, just to really get everyone involved, we really want this show to be about everyone else, and the more people that get involved, you know, it's been great that everyone's sort of got involved as the night's gone on. But if you have any subjects or anything you want to talk about, message the Facebook page, our emails on the Facebook page as well, and just get in touch and let us know what you want from this, because this is what we're aiming for, is to have everyone else have their say.
Yeah,
you know, so
their experience.
Brilliant. But I'm going to say my goodbyes, and thank you everyone for joining. Jen, do you want to say anything, or Sarah?
So thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, it's all about you lot. Tell us your untold encounters.
We are here just because of we want, like Sarah said and Nando said, we want you to tell us your side, and not only people in the paranormal, we want them too, of locations that we love, we know, but we haven't been to, but also the public who's never been to a paranormal investigation, or who's never basically talked about paranormal in their lives because they just don't know who and how they can say it to. To say, like, Jesus, something happened to me like 10 years ago, but I've never said it before. You are here. You, like I said, you can read it, type it out to us. We will just read it out. You can email it. We'll read it out again like that. You can come on the show, be on the video, or you can come on the show and just close your camera down like that. We can hear you, but we won't see you. It is simple as that. But get it off your chest if you want to talk about it. It's not a, you know, it's not that part of life and taboo that you can't talk about it. We understand. We listen. We have many people, our friends, in the paranormal that will get it, will understand it. Yeah, we get it. We got it. We get it. We got it. I'm just taking off a friend of mine. I'm not saying about here, but I'm just taking off a friend of mine. But I had to.
I got it. I get it. I get it.
Got it. I get
it. But no, it's been absolutely great. Girls, you've been amazing. You know, really enjoyed this show. It's absolutely how we can just have fun and be ourselves. And hopefully the more people see us, the more they want to join in. So again, thank you again for everyone for joining. We will be back in a couple of weeks. I think we've got a few plans already, haven't we, to what we're going to be doing.
Yes.
You know, which is great. But for now, we're going to say our goodbyes and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.